Joey said this podcast is more serious, but more silly, and we've literally had people cry on this podcast. So I don't know what he's talking about.
That's true. Jen got us good on that one, eh?
I've 100% cried on this podcast before.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 35 Pound Plate of the Unpaid and Underrated Podcast, a podcast by crew, for crew, and relentlessly mocked by crew, featuring this week a special guest. Keith, how you doing, buddy?
Howdy. I'm good. And we're also joined by their big technical guy, Nate. And then Nate can introduce our guest if he wants.
Yeah, sure. I guess this is how we do this.
The book.
We'll go around the horn. I just wanted to let you know the current price of Bitcoin is $60,695.80. We're joined, and you might say, "Why, Nathan? Why would you mention the price of Bitcoin?" Nice. Well, I would like to introduce none other than the Big Grant, the Bitcoin aficionado, the man, the myth, the legend, the man of iron plates. I should have wrote some more stuff down. I didn't know I was going to intro Grant. I'm just the technical guy.
I think that got it all right.
Okay.
Just tons of Bitcoins over here.
Yeah.
I can't even breathe. I'm surrounded by so many coins.
And I just want to let everyone know we do not provide financial advice on this podcast.
No, nothing. Nice. Thanks for having me.
Welcome. Well, let's kick it off with the old standby. What are you drinking over there tonight, Grant?
My wife's got me on these Yetis. She's like she's very anti Stanley. So I got some good ice water here, and then I have this morning's leftover coffee. So it's a little zing and zang going on.
Nothing better at 9 o'clock like some stale coffee, huh?
Yeah, gotta keep things going.
All coffee's good coffee, I guess, in some worlds.
Yeah, something like that.
I've got my non-alcoholic Guinness again to start. I think that's going to be a habit going forward. I'll have a beer at some point during the podcast, but we're going to start with the non-alcoholic Guinness.
I've got a little Waterloo grape. I don't know that I've had this one. Big fan. Tasting pretty good. Nah, man, it's good. It's honestly one of the closest to like tasting like a grape, like to the soda variation of it. So Waterloo grape, definitely give it a decent rating.
Like purple grape, like Kool-Aid grape.
Yeah, purple, like the strong and silly pint that you can never, So now it's fitting now because the purple can will never come out of the purple koozie.
Fits like a glove.
What do you got? You got anything over there, Nate?
I'm just drinking some water out of my Owala. No Stanleys, no Yetis here, just the trendy Owala. Just wanted to say I was on the trend before it was a trend, just to get that out there. Right. But I got all kinds of stickers on it too, just like Grant. Got hooked up with this sick sticker. Look at it. It reflects in the light.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Porch Light Coffee. Shout out to those guys. Akron, Ohio. Get down there.
I've never heard of that in my life. I don't know what an Owala is.
An Owala?
I thought you were going to say Akron.
Oh.
No, I know what Akron is.
He knows what Akron is. He's a big basketball guy.
Guy.
The Zips, right?
Yeah. No, LeBron James is what I was going for there.
Well, I know, but there's the Akron. The Akron is the Zips, aren't like the actual college.
Yeah, we'll get that. We'll get to college sports. College sports when we get the guest on.
Don't worry, Nate. Clean it up in post.
Yeah, we'll clean this up in post. Jeez, Keith, the Zips. Yeah, the huge football team that is the Akron Zips.
Roll Zips.
No. The Owala. It's like a multi-purpose water bottle because you can suck and chug out of the same hole.
Yeah, one of my coworkers had that.
Tickle? Is there any tickling involved?
No, I told him that was too much. I was like, that's too many things for one cup. You can't have that.
No, because when I'm rocking, I got like a sling bag, like a hipster. And so I can kind of just like finagle it out just a little bit and kind of slurp on it and then slide it back in. No one knows the difference. You don't have to like.
Wait, is that your dad bag? Like, I'm a sling bag too guy when I fish. Like some people do vest, I do the sling bag.
Yes,
it's like everything's behind you and then you sling it around when you need to do something. Is that what that is?
Yeah, I've been big on the sling bags lately. I wanted to be a fanny pack guy, but I just didn't have the balls for it. So I moved on to sling. I got mocked a lot at church because my like go-to backpack's like a 20-liter bag, and I would just take only my iPad. So I'd have like a 5mm iPad and a 20-liter backpack. And so I can.
I've always wondered why backpacks are. It's like people act like you carry water in them. I don't think anyone's ever carried fluid in them, but we measure it in liters.
What's volumetric?
I mean, that sounds un-American to me.
Yeah.
Oh, touche. I want to know how many ounces are in your backpack, sir.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But yeah, so I have a 9-liter Bellroy. I forget which one it is, but yeah, it's great. Love the sling life. Love the Owala.
I can't fathom a world where like a sling is like more appropriate than a fanny pack. Like, what made your decision on that? That's just I don't know.
What do you mean appropriate?
Like, so you
said you didn't have the balls
wearing pants.
You said you didn't have the balls for a fanny pack. Which the fanny pack in the lifting community, I feel, is very accepted. Whereas you're wearing like
in the lifting community. So I figured out pretty recently, like having like when you wear a fanny pack 24/7 and you just fill it with shit, right? Because your keys go in there and your wallet goes in there, then eventually everything else goes in there. It just starts to like hurt. Like it just starts to rub on your genitals constantly. So now I see a lot of people wearing them around their side. And at that point, just get a sling pack if you're going to do that. Like either commit to the dick rub, I guess I have to say it. Like
didn't have the balls for it,
commit to the rub, or buy a sling pack. Wearing a fanny pack over your shoulder it kind of feels like quitting to me. Like just get something else.
I don't know. Just carry less shit. I don't know.
No. I'm a dad. You can't do that. You don't get to carry less shit.
Yeah, there's so much stuff.
Oh, I feel like that's controversial. I feel like everybody went quiet there. All right.
Yeah, well, Keith also wears like cargo shorts, so he's got plenty of pockets.
He wears nothing but cargo shorts.
That's all I own. I don't care. That's all I own is cargo shorts.
Do you have tearaway? Do you have those ones where you get to unzip the bottom so that they go past the shorts?
I had a pair of those in high school, I think, but no, not in the last 20 years. I just wear the same cargo pants every day at work, and they're just perfect. I can fit so much shit in my pockets. I haven't sat on a wallet in like 10 years. My wallet lives in my front.
Neither have I, and I don't wear cargo pants. Just put it in my front pocket.
My legs are too big to put shit in my front pocket. I don't know about all that.
Oh yeah, what's it like having small legs, Nate? You tiny bastard.
Yeah, giant legs.
Okay, we've bored Grant already. We're 20 minutes in.
Yeah,
I'm good.
What are you guys wearing? Like, what's everybody wearing for tonight's podcast?
Cargo shorts,
cargo pants,
cargo shirts.
I'm wearing tearaway cargo pants that you can zip off the bottom half below the knees. I don't know. I'm wearing my Marine Corps t-shirt, Godfather battery. Yeah. It's a 50-50 blank American Apparel, or excuse me, Los Angeles Apparel. He's got a nice shirt on.
Got a little Strength Co shirt on that I got from I think you guys gave those out, the Arnold 2023.
Yeah, that's right. Good. Oh, you should have said you just were wearing a Strength Co shirt. Then I would have thought you bought it.
Yeah,
I would have thought you were a customer.
Nope.
I was
handed the shirt for free while I bought a pair of $40 1.25 pound plates. So I own amongst my 4,000 pounds of milled York plates, there is one pair of Strength Co plates.
Yeah, something can balance it out.
Yeah, the only good plates he's got in his gym.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying, Nate. That's what I'm saying.
I've got my beefy tee. They went back on sale today, restocked.
I bought that today in a new color.
Yeah,
I bought it immediately. Yep. Actually, that's my favorite shirt by a large margin. Like, it's not even close. I like the ones that like Keith's wearing. I like the oversized, and I think I've worn that shirt more than I've ever worn a Massonomics tee. Yeah, so I bought it in, what is it, charcoal? Whatever, it's darker.
Yeah, they call it a light brown or a dark gray, basically. They kind of commented on both of it on today's live.
Yeah, I'm an owner.
And Nate?
I'm wearing my Curls t-shirt because I couldn't find my Strength Co shirt for tonight.
Sounds like you need more.
I preach. And then I do have some pseudo Strength Co merch. Got my red Lift Hard, Live Easy hat. This sold. Speaking of customers, I purchased this from the hands of Won big grant at the Arnold.
I remember that.
Cold hard cash. Hard cash.
Actually, like right before Arnold walked by.
Yeah. You might say
that's worth. Like, yeah.
I probably brought him by. He's heard about the hats, the piping,
Yeah. You were buying the hat. We were doing a cash transaction and like the sea was parting. And I was like, what's happening? And then Arnold walked by.
Yeah. You can thank me.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, I do have a Strength Go Don't Wear Our Cats shirt. Just happen to not be wearing that right now. I'm actually shocked you don't have that one. That should be the one you have.
I should have bought it in Aberdeen, but I don't know. I feel like I gave like none of the vendors any attention at Aberdeen. I was just so overwhelmed with the day.
You don't give anybody attention in Aberdeen. That's the ongoing joke.
I'm Rude Keith, you prick. You know,
yeah.
We've got
that's what you do.
Me and Joey, Rude Keith, and whatever the heck Nate is.
Yeah. Christian.
Yeah.
Unavailable.
Christian Nate.
Take that. We'll take that.
It's compliment. Feature, not bug.
Yeah.
You guys want to rate last week's Massonomics episode, which was the truth about the apparel?
Yeah.
The gym apparel world?
I listened to it. I enjoyed it. I think I even hinted to it last week when I was trying to rate last week's episode. I was getting them mixed up with the one before. But yeah, kind of, reiterate anything I said last week about it. Just the fact that they're still in business is awesome. I know they kind of had to obviously, I wouldn't say pivot, but, having the supporting membership has kind of supplemented, t-shirt dipping, dips in the sales and stuff. So having our huge community, it's a boon for us. It's a boon for them. I think it's just awesome that we built this all together. Glad they're still around. A lot of the people that I know that they were hinting at that kind of went out of business, I don't know that I was really purchasers of their products prior to. So, I mean, I don't know that it hurts or helps my personal life, but I mean, I guess it sucks that people are getting out of the lifting community apparel. I don't know, but if all you're doing was selling shirts and you weren't doing anything else whatsoever to help your business, was it really a business? I don't know, but all in all, go ahead and give it a 5 out of 5 Strength Go cats.
Oh, nice. Those are my favorite kind of cats.
Not buy them. Don't buy those. Don't buy those cats.
Yeah. They're not for sale. You can't buy them, but they're nice if you own them.
So
we'll probably see a couple of cats at some point.
I hope so. I definitely listened to the episode, got through all of it. It was great. Can't say I remember much because, again, I usually listen while I'm driving. I do think
I thought you were gonna say you usually listen to it drunk.
No, God, no.
No, okay, no, driving.
Yeah, driving. Yeah. The other thing. Yeah, okay. I'm either one or the other.
Yeah.
One or the other. Never one at the same time. Never both at the same time.
Don't mix those.
Yep.
So kind of agree with Keith. I think it does suck that some companies are getting out of the game, but I do kind of agree that nobody's done it like they did. I think that the supporting memberships was a huge thing they did. Putting a Discord behind a paywall was kind of unheard of before they did it. And if anybody did it before that, they didn't do it as well. I saw Nate give me a bit of a thing there, but nobody's done it. Nobody's done it as good as them.
I don't know if okay. They're just not the first ever online community that you have to pay to get into. But
yeah, I'm gonna go with Nate on that one.
Okay,
but
the first one I've been willing to invest in.
Listen, Wendler's been doing it for years, so I mean,
who?
Wendler.
Who the fuck is Wendler?
Previous guest on the I almost said the Unpaid and Underrated podcast.
I was gonna say he was on here.
Yeah, we get everybody.
If he wasn't on here, I don't know who he is.
Some big names.
What has he got? Some followers or something? I don't know who that guy is. But either way,
coach.
He's a coach. Yeah.
You never heard of 531?
Yeah, created 531.
No, I'm kidding. Robert. It's a running joke.
Oh, okay.
I pretend I don't know who people are.
He's not kidding.
It's only it is a running joke, but 75% of the times he doesn't know who we're talking about.
Yeah. No, I know who Jim Wendler is. I listened to the episode. It was a psychotic episode. So I'm gonna go ahead and give that 531.
Oh, nice. That's
Massonomic.
good.
5 touches.
Nice.
I like that.
Yeah,
is there an order here?
Yeah, there is no order.
Last there.
This whole podcast is out of order.
Okay,
there is no order. It's like a Romans 1.
Romans 1, baby. I'm with you.
Grant's he's used to his own podcast. He's used to the Massonomics podcast, and he comes on here and we're just psychotic idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all right. It's okay.
But yeah, it was a wild listen. Always getting a behind the scenes look at any sort of business and the strategy and such is always interesting. You might look back to the first episode Grant was ever on the Massonomics podcast that featured a huge amount of the backstory of whoever that guy is and what it took to start a plate company and yada yada. And everyone always says that was super interesting. So the fact that they brought it back and brought it inside behind the meat curtains, as Tanner would say, was quite exciting. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I give it 5 out of 5 USA made 50/50 tri-blend t-shirts.
No, we can't be 50/50 and tri-blend.
Listen,
because if you're 50/50, you're 2 materials. If you're tri-blend, you're 3.
Listen.
But I like it.
We're not big math around here.
Yeah.
We're not big math.
Okay, fair. I actually listened to all of it. I was driving back with my wife. Okay, cool. I figured someone would do that. But no, she actually was like half asleep, 8 months pregnant. And she was chuckling I'm getting off topic for the apparel part of the episode, but she was chuckling with Tanner talking about, his wife coming home and like, he loves his kids, but how crazy it was. And I was just kind of like laughing as I was driving because I'm like, out of 2 hours of this poor misery I put her through where she listens to like 2 white guys in their 30s talk about life. Like that was like, she like perked up during that and like had like a good chuckle. And she's like, oh, Tanner's such a nice guy. And, so she enjoyed that. And then I thought the apparel thing was interesting. I particularly thought, not to just crap on everyone, but I thought that the Get Better Today going away was actually the most interesting to me. The other brands that they mentioned, yeah, it all makes sense. I mean, selling apparel is hard. I always say we sell a decent amount of apparel, but we only sell apparel because people like our plates. And so then they buy apparel, right? I've never just done apparel. But I thought the Get Better Today one was interesting because I've been to LA Apparel where we get all our blanks from. The owner, his old CEO, used to train at the gym. It's like I've been in there a lot, and I remember watching Get Better Today, Russell Ray stuff, and like just looking at the size of the warehouse and thinking, this is literally what it feels like when I walk into LA Apparel, right? Who's manufacturing t-shirts they provide for the company that we won't say their name. Like they provide for tons of people. And I remember watching Get Better Today stuff. I was like, this is so many shirts, man. This guy's killing it. And then he was doing like celebrity meetups, like shows, like, we're rocking apparel. Come by and see us in Miami. And yeah, actually, when Tanner said that, I had no idea that was gone. But no, I think making money off of clothing only is difficult, especially in the fitness space. I think that I won't go as far as Joey and say that the Massonomics guys are the first people to ever put anything behind a paywall, but I definitely think expanding like beyond just one median was smart for them. And I'd give them 5 Bitcoins. Like, great episode.
So speaking of the Get Better brand, I just looked it up. You can buy their domain right now.
Should we?
Yeah, right here on the podcast.
The cost is 1/6 of a Bitcoin right now, so I'll let you make that decision.
So
are you looking at the betterbrand.com?
Yeah.
Yeah, $11,995 for you non-Bitcoin types.
Yeah.
Ooh, no thanks.
Cheap.
I mean,
I think
pencil to paper.
Not last week, the week before, even
orangeglaze.com.
Even Barefoot was saying like
glazechurch.com.
When I told Barefoot I had one of their shirts, they were like, "Oh, you're the one." Right? Like I think they made that joke there. Like, yeah, it's definitely not an easy thing. And then, putting the things behind the paywall, they weren't the first, but maybe they were the best. Sorry, I misspoke, you dicks.
No, it was great.
Everybody comes after me.
The whole episode. That's like gonna be my thing. Like, yeah, Massonomics. First people to ever charge money for anything.
He gets it.
I think they were the first business that's ever existed, honestly.
But like I was watching this thing today from some gym up here in Canada, and they were doing like your top fitness apparel, and it was all the same, like Gymshark, Young LA, and it was all these things that I don't think I'd ever wear if you paid.
Oh, wait, is that how you say it? Young LA?
I don't know.
I've always said Youngla.
I didn't want to get made fun of for saying Youngla.
I think it's,
to be honest, I would say Youngla.
I don't know.
I think it's Young LA. I have a friend we could phone on that one if we need answers, but
Ronnie?
No, yeah.
Coleman type?
No.
I know he wears it. So.
No, some other folks, less famous.
That's
folks.
actually funny part about that. That's actually those blanks for the heavy tees. That's LA Apparel. That's the same shirt that Keith's wearing right now. Oh. Same blank. Yep.
Looky
there.
Yeah,
there you go. Learn something new every day. Yeah,
a lot of blank talk.
Lot of blank talk. And that could just mean there's nothing of content, or it could mean that we're talking about shirts. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
We always have good content here. I'll give a quick little weight loss update. Anyone listening, I'm
actually super interested in this.
So
when I saw that as a topic, I was like,
it's just I've struggled with weight, or most of my adult life. I've been as little as 190 and as big as 260. I'm kind of at the top end right now. And about when Tommy did the Macro Factor episode 2 weeks ago, it was just a combination of like I literally couldn't fit into my pants to go to like a family event, and I had to like frickin' wear obviously my cargo shorts to a thing where I wanted to wear pants. So that. A couple other things, and then that episode coming out Sunday night, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna start tracking again. It's been about 3 years since I religiously tracked, and I was just, I'm about a week and a half in it now and down 5 pounds. So
nice.
I'm gonna stick with it for as long as I can healthily do it mentally. I've got some.
So the lightest you've been is 190, the heaviest is 260. What are you right now?
255, basically 250.
255. Okay. Okay. So you're kind of at your top.
I straight up like just got very uncomfortable and unhappy with my weight, and I just not to get. I've had some issues with an ED, and I just didn't really feel comfortable tracking for a few years, and kind of in a mental place now. Like, all right, I can do this healthy. Let's do it.
Nice. So
I'm stoked.
That's cool.
So 5 pounds
down 5. I like it.
Yeah,
keep it up.
I'm telling you, the secret is get addicted to nicotine pouches.
Yeah.
Because I've lost 5 pounds in 3 weeks. Because I just started doing these so often, I don't eat that often. So apparently, that's the thing. But actually, the alternative is, like I mentioned last week, the opposite is I'm going to start doing the opposite of you, is making sure I'm tracking to eat more.
Did you buy the Fairlife protein yet?
No, I'm not going to buy.
So easy.
Protein.
It's literally.
I have a protein powder. It's a big thing.
I gotcha. But do you make? It's a big thing to mix up, and it's a pain in the ass, and you probably don't do it very often, do you?
And not as often as I should.
Where you can grab the Fairlife bottle and boom, 30 grams of protein.
Still tastes like shit.
I mean, one of the great things about Massonomics, they were the first people to put a Discord behind a paywall, and if you go on there, they'll just tell you to drink your Fairlife.
Yeah,
just do it, man. Pay the $5. LaCroix, it's the first people.
It's the GOMAD. You got to do the GOMAD, right? The gallon of milk a day. You want to gain some weight? Do the GOMAD. Right. Massonomics came up with that too.
They came up with everything.
If you guys might not have known this, but I heard they were actually on part of the original development team for Discord itself.
I did hear that. Tommy Discord creative.
Yeah.
Not to go over to your top there, Nate, but I actually heard that they were with Al Gore when the internet was created.
So, I've heard that as well.
They're way ahead of everyone's time.
I don't know anything.
Little known facts. Speaking of the Discord, we had a momentous occasion this week in the Discord that I just wanted to take a moment to highlight. But my buddy Tom, he joined the Discord. He's a supporting member now.
Yeah, he is.
So that's huge. Maybe we will finally get to Tom. Maybe not. We'll never know. We'll get to hear more about him later. But one important thing was when I told Tanner to give him a shout out on the podcast. I went back and read the message.
You didn't ask him. You just straight up told him.
Yes, that's true, and he listens as he should.
Okay. Yeah. Just kind of like when you told him to put the Discord behind a paywall for the first time.
That's exactly it.
That's good. I love
it. But I had told him to give him a shout out because Tom they had just had their second kid, and the shout out was supposed to be congratulating him on the new addition to the family, their second child. And Tanner just said, you should join the crew, and just skipped over that. But I read the message. I wasn't super clear on that. So I just wanted to say that here. Congrats, Tom. Maybe someday you'll make it on the Unpaid and Underrated podcast. We'll get to know you. But segue from that, something had happened.
Love segues.
Yeah, something had happened recently where a friend of mine who is not a listener to the podcast, not a listener to the Massonomics podcast.
I heard podcast.
Yeah. Podcast.
He's from Wisconsin.
Had just randomly sent me a clip to where I was telling a story about him. And I was like, how did you stumble upon this? From the Unpaid and Underrated podcast. And I said, how the heck did you find this? He's like, someone sent this to me. So immediately I messaged Tom and I was like, did you send this to him? And he said, no. And so one, Tom, you need to start listening to this podcast because you came out flat out and said you weren't listening. So that's a problem. But two, we have a mole among us that has connections to this podcast and to my friend, which there is no connection. I don't know how he got the clip of me talking about him. I didn't say his name. So we have a mole here of some sort that we'll need to get sorted out.
Leonard Skinner said it best in the song Things Going On. There's things going on that we don't know. And Nate, you and I have had a little connection on this. So back to the song of the summer, or let's bring up the song of the summer. I love the song of the summer. Talks about Stranko plates. And like, I don't want to beat it to death, but like actually a good song, right? Until you listen to it 5,000 times like I have. But like at first it was a good song. And so I sent it to my brother that's the president of Home Depot. And I just sent it to him and I don't say anything. And he writes back, Nathan Eckbert meets Nashville. And it was like a deep cut. And I thought, oh, Nate made this. Like Massonomics guys didn't. This came from Crew. And he just like pumped it to him. And then they published it. So I tell Nate, I'm like, hey, man, like, when did you write the song? Nate doesn't write me back. And so then I'm talking to Tommy and I'm like, he's like, yeah, I'm a modern day Bob Dylan. I'm like, well, it's not you. It's Nate. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, no, like, I know you didn't make the song. Nate made the song. And he's like, no, dude, I fed AI every part of that song. And I'm thinking in my head, like, no, you didn't. Like, my brother obviously like clicked Spotify on his computer and he's smart, like found like some kind of history. And so then Nathan's like, I didn't write it. Like, I have nothing to do with it. And I'll never know how the president of Home Depot even knows your name, Nate, but he does. And I haven't asked him yet. He's a busy guy. But
I just still don't believe that any of this is real.
It's all real.
He's just been.
I was like you made me the 100-pound plate that spins, right?
Yeah.
You've made me some different memes or whatever. So I'm like, oh, Nate made this song, and then Tommy's like, no, I made the song, and I don't know how that song gets traced back to you. But my brother definitely doesn't know you.
Apparently he does.
So the joke is Nathan is watching all of us, and that's how he made that one video. But Grant's brother's watching you.
Yeah, that's deep.
Apparently he is. Had a customer experience online at Home Depot. So shout out to the SVP. Or whatever VP, some sort of VP, right? I forget his title.
He's the POO, president of online.
Ooh.
I heard that Massonomics may have invented that position.
Yes.
What's funny is for my company, I'm also the president of online.
I'm
also the CEO. I also do customer service. I also clean the bathrooms. So I get it. My brother and I are the same.
Yeah, you're same.
We're the same.
You both are big fans of 5-gallon buckets,
Yeah, true.
All right. Can I pop us in and we'll do the next ad read? Grant, do you have something for us? Now this is a Canadian Zin. This is called Zonic.
It's a Zonic.
What's
like Sonic, except it sucks.
No, they're a little softer. They hurt my gums less.
Like you.
My wee gums.
So this is where I do the Massonomics ad read?
Yeah, if you got one.
And do I have one or can I make one?
Just make one.
Kind of
tell us why you love Tanner and Tommy and their paywall.
Yeah, so my favorite thing about Massonomics.com is one, they're like kind of on the cutting edge. They're like, you think Lewis and Clark, which paved their way through South Dakota. You think of the presidents up in Mount Rushmore. You think of people that are doing things that never been done. And like for me, in 2021 when I joined, I was looking for friends. The government had kind of shut me down. I couldn't do anything. And they created a paywall for a Discord, which had never been done. And I was able to join that as a supporting member for a low price and get in there and interact with my friends, bots talking back to me. But the nice thing is, like, the bots talk to you, but people do too. So I'm a big fan, but I got to say, out of Massonomics, like, Tanner and Tommy are great, but I like to talk about, maybe it's the Marine in me, but the unsung heroes. And the unsung heroes are definitely, Leah and Mary and the kids. And so, behind every good business, there's women supporting it. So yeah, big shout out to Massonomics. If you're not a supporting member, hey man, this is the time to go to Massonomics.com. Click on the Nathan, is there a button? There must be a button. Yeah, /join and sign up. And don't go for $2. Every day, no matter what you buy, someone flips an iPad screen to you and they say, just answer a couple questions for me real quick. And what I would say to you is, when you go to Massonomics, click the highest amount. The next time someone gives you an iPad screen, click 0. And if you put pen to paper, you're almost saving money. So yeah, Massonomics.com/join.
Well done.
How did I do?
Grant, would you say that Massonomics gets rid of the red tape that exists in the apparel company?
They really do. They really do.
They're real people, right?
Yeah, they're real people. They're warm bodies. It's like when you call, someone answers. And if my brother once sent me, the president of online for Home Depot, the POO, sent me a customer service complaint, and it was a prior Air Force guy. He said, I'm emailing you because I want to get to the belly button of the issue. And then he, complained about buying a 2x4. And to this day, my brother and I will always be like, the belly button of the issue. And the nice thing about Massonomics is, like, do you want to get to the belly button of the issue? There's Absolutely. 2 guys to call, and they will fix it.
Now, since Tanner likes to give out your number, on his podcast, did you want to give out his number on our podcast?
Yeah.
No. Here we go.
I'm just anybody that needs it already has it. It was just I always get I'm assuming the number he gives out has to just be like a Google phone number, right? It can't be. It's not like, or do you have like a work line?
It's just we use a company called Open Phone.
Okay,
like, so we have a couple. But
okay, I was like, there's no way he's doxing you and giving out your fucking cell phone.
I mean, I doxed myself.
You did. Oh, I remember.
I was gonna say Grant will just dox himself.
But I actually still offended.
At least it was behind a paywall.
I doxed. Well, yeah, I was behind a paywall, and I thought Crew was family. So I'm like, how can you even call this doxing? Like, this is like Nathan, where's my baby gift? I'm a little surprised nothing showed up from you.
Mike, you deleted the address before I could save it.
My address has been posted in Discord many a time, and I've so far I've only got 1 bag of dicks. So, but I did.
That's
get a bag
true.
Of,
yeah.
I did get a bag of dicks.
Did we ever figure out who that came from?
No. I don't know.
That's either Nate or the Davids.
You got a Joey pillow too. Don't forget about that.
No. Well, yeah, but that was like I've only got 1 anonymous gift.
Somehow less offensive than the bag of
I've got several crew gifts that I do appreciate. All the crew gifts that I've known about. But
yeah, that's even better than the pillow. I just showed up to his house. All right, Carp, you might have to bail, buddy. I know you're.
Yep, we're gonna.
Yeah, Keith, what have you been doing? Aren't you supposed to kick the looky-loos out?
Yep. Dan, whoosh, they're all gone.
Yeah, that was easy. All right.
I think he's still here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, as soon as I figure out how to use Zoom's paywall, he's out of here. Big Grant, is that you?
Yeah, it's me. Yeah. Oh, it's this part of the show. Okay.
Welcome to Unpaid and Underrated. You are live. We're not gonna do any intros. We're gonna dive right in to make sure we don't miss any gold. And I think I do have one big question, and it might have been answered on one of the times you were on podcasts, Massonomics podcast, which was what, twice or thrice?
Thrice, yeah.
You're thrice. All right. Yeah. But I'm going to ask the question for all of us, which are crew members, is how did you even find Massonomics? How did you find the crew? How did you find the paywall?
Yeah. And I don't think I've actually ever talked about this with them, but I was going to be on Mark Ripito's podcast in May of 20. And I don't know, Nathan maybe knows, or maybe Keith, who was on whose podcast first?
They were on Rips. I believe they were on Rips. Yeah.
So they were on Rips. And I don't know when that was. I just know that I call him Ricky. His name's Rusty. but I notoriously mix people's names up, so I'll just call him Ricky. Was as we were sitting down the podcast and like testing mics, he's like, "Hey, I talked to the Massonomics guys, and I can't remember if it was they're coming on or you're coming on. Like, I don't remember which was the truth." But he's like, they're good for whatever day. And Rip's like, "All right." And I was thinking in my head, like, oh, Massonomics, like, I've seen that. And so I finished that podcast with Rip, and I remember going back and thinking about them and pulling it up. And I was following them, which I didn't know I was. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And so I just messaged Starting Strength. It's run by a guy named Pete. And I said, hey, do you have an address for these guys? And he's like, yeah. And he sent it to me. And so having never talked to them, never interacted with their account, he sends me an address, and I send them 2 T-shirts and 2 hats, the Make America Strong Again hats. I send them a blue one and a red one. And if you go back, well, if you've listened to 400 episodes, if you're actually a supporting member, like you probably heard this. And it was just funny now, like knowing them, like how much they don't want to talk politics. They were like, oh, there's a blue one and a red one, but both of them are kind of like, ah. And so they had a moment, and then they replied back and were like, hey, that was awesome. Thanks. And that's kind of when I started following them. And then we made that video of how to make a 35.
Yeah, the 10 and a quarter. That was great.
It's one of the greatest. Yeah. One of the greatest.
Yeah. So we did that. I don't know, maybe June of 20, and I kind of like I had Massonomic stuff all over it, and so I think it's kind of like this has happened in my business where it's like, wow, these people really like my company. Why? And so they were like, hey, come on the podcast. So anyway, that's how I found them. And then I'll always say, like, you can never recreate the first podcast because I literally didn't know them. Like, I had listened to like maybe 3 episodes, but I wasn't like hardcore crew. Like, I didn't know all the jokes. And the first episode was like, I think it was so fun because it was just like getting to know guys that are like-minded and that like lifting. But yeah, that's my story.
Nice.
Just a bunch of guys being dudes.
Yeah, just a bunch of guys being dudes.
And it's been a hell of a time since.
Yeah, it kind of has actually.
Yep, I met you, I think, at the Arnold 2023. I think it was the first time I met you.
Did you go in 2?
No, maybe didn't I? No, I've only been to 2. So I was at 2024 and 2023.
Okay. I thought I met you at the first one, but yeah.
And it was incredible. Again, I mentioned that barefoot and treated me amazing. And then I met you, and you were just like, "You're Massonomics crew, let's go." And like me, you, Jonathan Oldham, and like we just had a hell of a time drinking beer, lifting weights, like. And it was like we already.
That's all like 2 things I know, actually.
Yeah,
lifting and drinking.
Yep, and it was so fun because like I just walked up with the strength, going like, "Hey," and I had a Massonomics shirt and the tattoo, and you were like, "Hey, want a beer?" And we just like kicked it off immediately. Same thing this year, same thing at the Lift Hard, Live Easy, and it's like, yeah, they really brought us together on that one, and it's been really awesome.
It's funny, like their power, and I mean even the other like people similar in the space, like Huck Finn people, but it's like I'm at the booth, and I won't tell you what we spend on the booth, but it's not cheap, right?
No,
like it's a good bit of change. You're there, and like you're constantly like fencing people out, like the whole weekend. You're like fencing people out. If you want to come close, like give us your email, scan this QR code, do this. But like if you see a Massonomics t-shirt, you're like, I have no idea who this person is. Oh yeah, you're good. Yeah. Come on in.
Yeah.
Like it's like,
and that's how you were with me. It was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's cool. And then everyone that you let in with that is awesome. And not only do they like come in and hang out, but they're like, what can I do to help? Like that's what you did, Nate, the first year. Like you came up with like, what can I do to help? And I was like, I don't know.
Well, that was a very surreal moment for me because I had never been around any of like anything Massonomics. Very overwhelmed by the Arnold in general, just like, typical nerd dude, introvert, doesn't know how to like communicate with people. And I walk up to Grant, I'm like, hey, what do I need to do? And you're like, oh, just come like sit back here with all of us. And like there's like a live stream going on, and I'm just like sitting in the back on the cooler, and Grant's like, so what's up, dude? And I'm like, I don't know what's going on right now. Like,
if it makes you feel any better, as the president of online, I didn't know what was going on either. I just go with it.
I think the first year I was loading on the deadlift platform. Like guys were just walking up and they were like, "Can I lift that?" And I turned to Ron and I'm like, "Can we change the weights?" And he's like, "Well, I'm not gonna." And then I was like, "Well, then I'm gonna." And I was just helping dudes learn how to deadlift. And then you jumped in. Like it was an amazing time. So cool. Definitely fit right in. It's really fun. So we're going to do this at the end, but I want to do it at the beginning. Does anybody not know who Grant is? What is your Discord name, your IG, where do we find you on Instagram? If you want people to find your personal, if not, send them to the business.
I'm very bad at Discord. I'm on I'm actually on 3, but the only one I check is Massonomics. And I had a name on there, and then I wanted it to be Big Grant because it was like something else. And then, so I went in and whatever I changed it to like be Massonomics friendly is my name on everything. And I think it's Big Grant TSC. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't change like the handle in the space. Like I changed like the whole thing.
Yeah. You have to change the server Discord. You have to change your, you have a main one and then you have your server specific one.
Nathan's laughing at me.
Oh, I'm also bad at that. I was Big Joey on everything forever. And then people in like my local city were just like, "Why are you Big Joey?" And I was like, "Come fucking deadlift and find out." Like,
that's right. That's right. But I'm Big Grant TSC on Discord. I don't know, the Strengthco Instagram, the Strengthco website's obviously cool. The only thing I would say, like my personal Instagram, GP Broggi, is like me and my wife doing stuff. The only social media thing that I would say I actively do that's like connected to business is my X account. Like I post a lot of coffee, like pretty much every morning. I post all my lifts. I don't know. It feels a little better doing it there than on Instagram, showing like mediocre deadlifts. And if I always tell people, if you want coaching advice, from a starting strength coach, some people are into it, some people aren't. But I'm like, hey, if you post it publicly on X and tag me, I'll tell you what I think. But yeah, I'm Grant cool. SSC over there. But yeah, outside of that, just go to the website and buy plates.
But we will get to that. Keith, you're up. I've been talking too much.
So that's where they find you online. Recently, I think we all knew anybody that's familiar with you from Massonomics World News that you were used to be in California. Now you're back in upstate South Carolina. Is that is that obviously being in the military too? Have you been all over? Essentially, the question is, where do you live? Where are you from? Where have you been?
Yes. Yeah, so I live in the upstate right now. I'm from the Low Country. I was just there visiting my mom for her 66th birthday this last weekend. I'm from the Low Country of the South. My family's all from Boston, so that's why I like Boston sports. But if you zoom out, right, like I identify as a South Carolinian, and I like Boston stuff. But I lived 12 years of my adult life in California. Like that's where I did most of the stuff due to the Marine Corps. So I spent a long time out there. I'm in the reserves right now, deploying next year, which is a nice wrinkle to life. But yeah, right now we're here, and I would say, we'll go back, and my training for the deployment will be in California. So I'm taking the whole family back there. That's where my wife will be while I'm gone. Okay. And then, but I think long term you see us in the Southeast. But as Nathan would totally understand, man makes the plans, God directs the steps. Like I have no idea, I have no idea where I'll be 2 years from now. But I can tell you, I will either be in Southern California, South Carolina, or South Dakota. I only like states that start with South, and those are my 3 options. Yeah, or Southie Boston. That one could.
No, yeah, it's close enough. Right? No, that's cool. Yeah, people always like to hear where people are from, and it's that one little extra level of like, oh, I have that connection with person X, Y, Z, yep. And just that's what this whole point of the podcast is. That's what the whole thing we created this for. So when people meet up in person, people will know each other a little better. So that's our gist here.
Sure.
Is there any? Yep. Have it.
So, we a little behind the unpaid and underrated curtain. Keith, Joey, and I we had worked on a special system to collect information on our guests. That's all coagulated into one giant pile of information that we then take and present to the listeners and the guest for review. And we did receive one piece of information. And it's up to you. We can edit this in post. But there was apparently something about your hometown that you don't want anyone to know. And I just I just want to know if you want to come clean now or.
So you're using hometown very loosely. Like if you want to drill down on this subject, which I will do.
Is that where you got your hat? I think is the main question.
Yeah.
No. In South Carolina, we wear hats. I mean, Nate, you gotta like this isn't CNN. Tell me what you want to ask. Ask me, brother.
I just want to know, were you born in Texas?
I was.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born in Texas. I was born in Texas at Baylor Hospital. My parents moved me at, I think, 13 months to South Carolina, and been back to Texas a bunch, more than I'd like. Don't like it.
It's too hot.
I think their barbecue sucks.
Oh.
They think they're like hardcore Americans, but like they're only good on paper. But yeah,
wow.
no. Big Trey from the OK podcast used to roast me when we were lieutenants together because I would always change my bio because, like, someone above you will make your bio and it'd be like, lieutenant, whatever your rank is. Grant Broggi was born in Texas, and I would always change it to was raised in South Carolina, and so that's what Nate's referring to, and maybe someone filmed that out in the forum. But yeah, no, I was born in Texas. Which what I always say is Mexico, but that's probably why I married a Mexican.
Yeah. It's closer to home.
History,
That's great.
Just wanted to clear that up.
Kind of say he wouldn't admit to it. They said that in the notes.
Yeah, no, I used to not admit to it. Now that happened.
You had no control.
You don't want to be burdened or whatever by what has been or something.
Amen, brother. I don't want to be unburdened by what has been.
Well, if that's one thing you might be a little bit embarrassed about, let's get to something you're pretty proud of, and that'd be your Hall of Fame status. I want to hear what that is,
especially as of now.
Yep, current.
Yeah, so I checked that off in the pre. Do you guys air the pre-show, or is everything we talked about before not on?
Once this airs, it's official, so it doesn't matter.
No. He
meant
the chitter before.
Yeah, the chitter before.
Chitter.
Let's do it.
God damn it.
As soon as I came on, I grabbed my pen, I put it in the paper, and I crossed off number 13.
That won't be on there.
Number 13.
Okay. Well,
all right.
Nice.
Yeah. So I have 3 to go. So 12 or 13 out of 16. I'll read you the 3. Attend Crew Falls. 7 supporting member 4 years, which I think I hit in October of this year. So I'm close to that one. And then 11 is be a contest prize winner. And I have no idea. Like, it's like, I also didn't know if I owned a piece of band merchandise. And then Tanner was like, send me a photo of everything you own. He's like, yep, that's band. And I was like, oh, okay. So I don't know if I've been a contest winner. I feel like being on this podcast is a contest that I won.
Tanner's pretty strict on that one. Like, it's got to be like a Massonomics, like legitimate, like where they pick winners, not just like a random draw or like some lifting competition or something. It has to be like something that you did or created and then were picked.
Yeah, I don't think so. So basically, if I go to, and I doubt I'll ever be picked, not that I'm awesome or amazing, but I bet if my name came up, they'd just go to the next guy. They'd be like, Grant, he's on the podcast too much. So the odds of me going to Crew Falls are higher than being a contest winner. And what's the other one here? A supporting member for 7 years. You can't stop time, right? Or for 4 years, number 7 for 4 years. So, I guess, if I can make it to Sioux Falls, Crew Falls this December, I could get a jacket is the way I see it.
Crew Falls was fun. I went last year. It was definitely the wife surprised me with it. It was like a surprise anniversary present, and I opened it up, and it was just like a plane ticket, a first class plane ticket.
Dude, she's a keeper.
Yeah, I think she just wanted a weekend alone, so it kind of worked out for the best for her.
How much does it cost me to get rid of Keith for a weekend?
But pricing it out this year when it's something I'm paying out of pocket, or it's coming out of like my slush fund, it's like, oh man, do I really want to spend $1,000 for that? It was definitely awesome.
Yes,
I don't regret doing it, but I'm 50-50. I got to make a decision the next month if I'm going to go or not, because I need like 2 months notice at work to kind of take any time off. So
where are you?
Upstate New York, if you will, but more Western New York. But we'll call it upstate.
Oh. Are you close to Watertown?
Yeah. When you were in Fort Drum, I think
I'm about to be there. I'm about to be there for like all of September.
That's funny. We might actually meet up then, because I'll be in Glover's.
Yeah.
I'll be in Watertown in like 2 weeks, I think. For maybe I'll have to check the dates, but yeah, 3 weeks from now, I'm staying in Watertown for a whole week, I think.
Should come out and visit the artillery line.
That'd be sick. Yeah,
can give you like a VIP experience. Come out, watch us shoot artillery.
I think I'll probably be in the field working from like 7 to 5 every day, but anything in the evening. But the worst case, go out. And
I love that you call it the field. That's what we call it when we shoot artillery. I remember moving to California. I was like a young lieutenant. You're all pumped up, jacked, full of testosterone and everything. And we're out at the bars, pre-wife. And, I meet someone and I'm like, yeah, I can't. I'm going to the field next week. And I remember the girl looked at me and she goes, are you a farmer? And I'm like, no, I'm a Marine. And she's like, well, what field are you going to? And I was like, and I just remember thinking like, oh, that is a very weird way to describe life. But,
I don't work in a field either. I go into customers, I go to customers' homes and provide an energy efficiency service, but it's just quote unquote field technician.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, cool. Yeah.
The field.
So the field is not behind a paywall, at least, so we have that going for us.
Yeah, man. I every time I hear the word paywall, I think of Lewis and Clark. I think of, Pocahontas, people doing groundbreaking things. I say Massonomics putting a Discord behind a paywall. Like, mind blowing to me. Just I can't believe they were the first to do it. I love those guys.
So speaking of the sister podcast, is there one thing that they currently don't make that you wish you had gotten your hands on?
Massonomics is the sister in this.
Yep. There are little sisters, if you will.
And the OK podcast is our cousin podcast. It's
cousin,
the family.
Yeah. And cousins kissing cousins is not a thing. No, I get it. I'm from the South.
Whoa.
One thing I wish I could get my hands on. I kind of wish I had my hands on like some of the original shorts. What was before? So the first pair of shorts I bought were the ones where you pulled out the pocket and there was the dollar bills inside. Was that the 2.0s?
That's 3.0s.
Yeah,
that was 3.0.
Two were the sweatpants or the sweat style.
Yeah, and then what was the first? Was that just like black champions?
Yeah, just the champions with the lift logo. Which
that's
they can't sell anymore because Ronnie.
Yeah, that's what I wish I had. Especially with the red shorts. They'll hate me for plugging this because I'm plugging something that's out of stock. I hate when people do that with my company. It's like, oh, you're talking about my company? Talk about the one thing that we can't sell you right now. But the red shorts, I love those things.
The new ones, the squat ones?
Yeah, I wear them.
I have 2 pairs. I love them.
Me too.
Yeah, my drawstring fell out. I threw that away, actually. The drawstring.
There was some drawstring talk behind the paywall today, too.
Okay, I left it in Tanner's truck, and nothing weird happened. But that's just where it ended up. But I love those shorts, and it's so funny because like if I wear them with an oversized T-shirt, my wife's like, "You're going to go out into town looking like you're going to bed," and I'm like, "No, I'm just really comfortable." So she's like, "If you're going to wear the shorts, you have to wear like a better T-shirt."
Yeah,
but yeah, those things, I love them. That's actually that and the shirt that Joey's wearing, hands down. I mean, like I wear other stuff because I support, but honestly, a lot of the T-shirts are like tight in my armpits, and I'm not like I don't mean it as a knock, but like I just personally am not a huge fan. Like I want to be comfortable. For the shirt Joey's wearing and those shorts, hands down, my favorite mass products. And I wish I had the original black champion lift shorts.
I actually changed in the parking lot at work like a psychopath.
That's normal.
Yeah, well, I was wearing like dress pants and a dress shirt, and then it was 25 degrees, and I was like, hell no. And I remember throwing shorts in the car this morning. It was like 6:30 in the morning, so I was only half paying attention. And I was actually bummed that it wasn't those shorts. When I pulled out the shorts I was walking to the car going, oh, I can't wait to put on those squat shorts. This is going to be fantastic. And then I pulled out some other shorts, still nice and comfortable, but I was just like, damn it. I was really hoping it was those red shorts. Yeah,
they're the best.
Yeah, they're going to restock those. I think that's their blank going forward, and they'll just have different designs. But
yeah, it's the blank. But I don't know if the squats logo might not be coming back, at least not anytime soon. But I'm sure we'll see other.
For the U.S. listeners, 25 degrees is 75 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what Joey's talking about.
And I was like, what are you talking about?
25. I was like, what How many winters ago was this? Now I get it. He was talking in Celsius.
Winter's coming, Nate. Apparently.
Thank you, Nate.
I was like, changing in the parking lot in 25 degrees is insane.
To put shorts on.
Yeah, this dude.
It's like, what in the Canadian?
I was in a pool. Come on.
Good stuff.
Man.
All right.
So we have.
Yep. Keith,
wait, real quick. Yeah. So Big Carpet's still here. We're just gonna let him hang out.
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
Okay, cool.
Hey, buddy.
Shout out Big Carp.
Good guy. He's a good man.
This is the Crew podcast. The whole joke is we're gonna kick people off like they do on their podcast. But I don't.
But you don't.
Yeah, I don't have the time or patience for that. This is the Crew podcast. Anybody can join. There's been times where like Tanner will join halfway through, or another
Dodds so much when you let him in. I was like,
yeah, Dodds will join and start having conversations with us. It's just kind of, this is the Crew podcast. Out of 400 people, they're all allowed to join.
So
cool.
As long as they don't screw around.
You might be familiar with it, but John Piper once wrote a book, Brother, We're Not Professionals.
Big John Piper guy.
And that's our, we're not professionals, brother, we're not professional.
We try our best.
Love me some John Piper.
We try our best to put on a good.
Going on an hour. Keith, hit him with least fun, most fun.
All right, Big Grant. We have this game we like to play. It's called Least Fun, Most Fun. I'm going to give you one topic and just tell me the least fun thing about it and the most fun thing about it. I got a couple to pick from. I'm not really sure which one I want to go with, but okay. So least fun, most fun, being a starting strength coach. The least fun thing about it and the most fun thing about it.
In that order?
Either or, yeah, however you want to shoot it.
Okay, we'll just go the way it goes. Least fun. Least fun is people coming for coaching and they think that you're going to like fix some technique thing that is going to like make them not have to work harder. And most of them like are fine, right? Like, yeah, maybe there's some knee slide, like maybe the bar position's off, but I'm like, dude, you're fine. Add more weight to the bar. And so I think the least fun thing is people they think that you're going to be like, well, if you push your knees out like this, you'll add 100 pounds to your squat. And it's like, nah, brother, like you gotta pay your dues. I think it's the least fun, and like especially in the gym in California, we'll do like once a month a camp, and it'll be like we mess with the price. Sometimes $50, sometimes $75, but like usually talk to a starting strength coach is $200 for a session. So it's always reduced, and the goal is like Keith's a member of the gym. He wants to get his wife, his mother, his coworker to come to the gym, and they're like, I don't know what starting strength is. Why would I pay $200? So it's like, hey, here's a cheap $50 thing you can buy. And so that's the goal of those camps. But a lot of times we'll get people that, drive 6 hours and they're like, whoa, I get to be with a starting strength coach at a discount. And they think you're going to tell them something besides, nope, training's hard. Like, you want to be strong? Yep. Got to go in there 3 times a week and sweat. Like, nope, it's not fun once you're strong. So I'd say it's the least fun. Most fun, by far and large for me, was teaching people that have never touched the weights. Like, I would take Joey, Keith, Nathan, all you guys. I'd love to coach you, but I really don't care. You're all kind of strong. Like, you've already done the work. But like, if Nathan brings me his mother and she's like super scared to lift, and you get to like have that interaction of like making the barbell seem approachable and like teaching someone that doesn't know anything, like that is what I just taught a camp last week. And I had 7 guys. We had 1 no-show. Starting strength camp, she had 8 for camp. So I had 7 guys, 1 no-showed. And the 6 guys that knew every Ripito quote, loved coaching them. Great time. Like, hope I helped them. 1 guy had never lifted. And someone was like, dude, go to this camp. And to me, that is the most fun, like getting, and he was 59. He was a swimmer. Like, he's not a swimmer like Michael Phelps, but like that's what he did for exercise. And his doctor was like, you need to get strong. And his buddy was like, go to this camp. I love that. Like, I love when we're not nerding out about equipment. We're not talking about York milled backs and this and that. It's like, hey, dude, like, you want to live a long time, you have to be stronger. Here are the tools. That's the most fun for me.
Awesome. I dig it. Appreciate that.
Shout out to Barb.
Yeah, Barb, that's your mother, right?
That's my mom. Shout out to Barb.
I keep saying Nathan, hoping that it brings mom feelings.
Yeah. What? You would be my mother?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah. No, I don't want to be your mom. I just,
He just really wants to meet your mom. He wants to coach your mom.
If someone said Grant Phillip from Texas, I'd be like, oh, my mom's here.
Yeah.
Because she knows that would piss me off. So I like to call you Nathan.
Okay. I mean, most people do.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever called you Nathan. I don't think I've ever called you Nathan.
Yeah.
But I've also only talked to you on the podcast because you only show up to the Arnold on Saturdays. Late.
And Keith doesn't show up.
Late.
Doesn't stick around on Saturdays.
Okay, gotta go home.
All right. Are we doing some games? You want me to ask a question? I got a couple questions.
Yeah. We're gonna hand this over to our technical guy. He came in with quite a few questions. More than I had. So go ahead, buddy.
I got so much stuff. I don't know. Let me look through here. Grant, I got a couple would you rathers. Okay. I want to put you in a sticky situation and I want you to get yourself out of it.
Would you rather be reformed or not?
So I got two positions for you. Okay. Would you rather never have a customer support email ever again? Never have a customer email issue, anything to deal with ever again, or never be able to watch a Gamecocks game again? Now, you can still know if they won. They can still do well, but you will never be able to watch a single minute, no recaps, no highlights. They could still win, but you can't watch it. You don't know what's going on. You just know the outcome.
Okay. This is a pretty clear answer for me, but let me maybe for the listeners provide a little context, right? Like some of the customer service answers we get are like, hey, what is electrocoat made out of?
Electric. It's electric.
It's electrolytes. It's what plants crave.
Yeah.
It's what plates crave.
Or hey, so when I buy a pair of 25s,
do I get two?
Will I get two, or is it like a pair of pants? Reoccurring question. Get it all the time. But man, I'd rather watch the game. I don't know how to deal with all these double negatives, but like I'd rather watch the Gamecocks. So like I'll answer all the emails if you let me watch the Gamecocks. Okay. I can't. Yeah, I have to know what's going on.
Okay. All right. So this next round, would you never wear American-made clothes again, or never strength train again?
Man, you guys are really asking the tough questions.
Oh, yeah. Do they make American-made clothes that big? Like, because you're never going to be that strong again. You got to be.
Yeah, I think I have to train. I got I'd wear. I wear Massonomics Chinese shorts.
Yeah, he's gonna. You'd rather train in Chinese clothes than not train in.
Yeah. I'm gonna train. Yeah.
All right. Next one. Now this is interesting because you said something earlier that throws this off for me. But would you rather give a discount or give up Zyn?
Give a discount. Give up Zen. I'd rather give up. Wait. So if I give up Zen, I have to give a discount?
Yes. Yeah. One or the other.
So if I give a discount, I don't have to give up Zen. And if I give it.
No, I think you're just grabbing. I think
you have to pick one or the other.
So
you have to do one.
Tomorrow, somebody says,
give up Zen or give a discount.
Yeah, we'll give you unlimited Zins, but you have to give 10%.
The tithe.
Wait,
give a tithe.
Is that correct? Is it that?
Yeah.
Is it pick one?
Yeah, unlimited Zins, but you have to give a 10% discount. Code Massonomics. Or
code unpaid, Joey. Code unpaid.
Code unpaid. Or you never have to give a discount again, but you can never have a Zin again.
Oh, I'm never giving a discount. I'm never doing Zen.
Okay.
Yeah. Easy.
35%
off of 35s. Carp's still here.
He's still here. Who let him in?
That's a lot of percentage.
That's a huge percent.
It's a really large percentage.
That's like
35.
That's like your entire profit margin, I think.
More.
Yeah. All right, and this one comes from the crew. I just saw it. Would you rather only be able to lift cap plates or only lift the conjugate method?
That's a good one.
Conjugate method. Yeah. I'd rather lift the conjugate method. Man, the premise And the details for that would say is I actually don't care what program you want run after you've gotten kind of strong. I don't care. Like Texas method or this method doesn't matter. What matters is if you walk into the gym and you're new and you can add 5 pounds, do that. Oh, you can't do that anymore? Do whatever you want. I don't care. So yeah, I do conjugate strength coat plates made in the USA all day.
Good deal. Good deal. I think the conjugate method would work more effectively if you were using strength coat plates, but that's just my opinion.
No, yeah, for sure. I'd agree with you. Yeah, it's like reading out of the NASB. Like it's, there are other Bibles.
It's the literal translation of the weight. That's what it is.
Yeah, just saying.
Straight from Aramaic Greek to yeah. Yeah.
Nathan's having a moment because like some of the biblical stuff I've layered in is so complex that he couldn't even explain it.
There are like 3 people in the Massonomics Discord. I once mentioned, I said, Joey mentioned tulips, and I tulip.
And I 5 points, baby.
Keith's typing in my doc because
Stop it, you fucker.
I highlight all the text as I read it, and he doesn't like that.
You're literally lighting. Oh, you're killing me.
Oh, Keith's in a dark room. That's why.
Yeah, it's like very.
Yeah. Hey.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm over here just sniffing constantly like Tate. So pardon me for mutant.
Well, I thought you were hitting ammonia.
Well,
I was earlier today. God, I was asleep at 6:30 p.m. I was right passed out. Morgan woke me up. He's like, "Here's steak and rice," and I was like, "Thank you."
Talk about a keeper.
I don't want to run this podcast, but Keith seems like he wants to keep it going. What's up, Keith?
Yeah.
So
that's Keith's normal demeanor this entire podcast.
Well, I did have one reoccurring question from a few crew. Basically, future products in Massonomics, specifically kilo plates or calibrated competition plates, even if they are American. Is that something?
Yeah. Future products that are actually happening. I just got the steel insert for the dumbbells. So we're gonna do a pro style dumbbell. Nice. We've already done the handle. And we will use the plates that we have. There'll be a steel insert and it'll be a hex screw on the end to put together. And we've made the handle length, 1, like that makes sense to grip, but 2, so that you're not grabbing a 33-pound dumbbell, right? So like that's coming, and I would say that's coming this year. And I even pressed the guys the other day. They were like, "Yeah, we have that insert we SMG," and I was like, "Look, man, I'm deploying next January. Like if we are not launching a product when I'm not here." And so his butt's in gear, so that'll happen. Our cast iron cooking pan is definitely happening. We've made a lot of those. A 12-inch pan. We've done a couple different oiling or seasoning options, and I have 6 at the coders right now to get that right. So those are coming. To answer your question specifically, I'd love to do a kilogram plate because everyone trains with strength coat plates, and then when they compete and post how strong they are, they do it on kilogram plates. But I don't know that it, I like to think that we're growing and we're big, but I think the market is very small for that.
I'd say it is.
Yeah, it's very small, and I think that Rogue used to be Ghost, and Alico, they do all of it in China. So I actually don't even think I'd be close on the cost. And I think that one part where we stand out is like people think, oh, this plate is better and it's made in America, I'll pay more. And you'll lose both of those things. Like you now have everyone hates a kilo plate. You have your Yorks I'm looking at behind you, which I don't think you're actually sitting in there. It's like a backdrop.
It is my basement gym. I'm just upstairs in the spare bedroom.
Yeah, which is fine. But I just mean those Yorks you can grab and they work great. Absolutely. Right? Whereas a kilo plate actually sucks for usability. So literally you're making it just to sell to people that are running meets. Yeah. And I think the margin is small. What we are doing on the line of new products is a lot of people have asked me to make a smaller plate, and that's a lot of the starting strength crowd. And so I had priced out all this new tooling for a 0.75 pound plate and a 0.25 pound plate. It was a lot, but I just it dawned on me, like an epiphany, like, brother, we're not professionals, but this just came to my mind. Can we just take the 1.25 and machine it down more until we get to this weight? And so that's what they're doing right now. Actually, this week they'll shave off the 1.25, like literally the numbers. They'll cut the OD down, and then they'll engrave in what the weight is. But again, no one's going to get excited about that. Like that's for Barbara. That's for
it's
older
still cool to
folks.
have to your line, so you don't have to sub it out. If you can still make it
exactly
yourself, because you could have partnered with someone, but it's like it is what it is. You want to keep everything in house.
Or Keith and his weekly PR.
Yeah,
I do love to micro load.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
1.25, so it was the lowest.
Saturdays, man.
The biggest thing that's coming, let's see, I don't know how far ahead you guys are, but the first week of September it'll drop, is our 45s on the bumpers. It's crumb rubber with a urethane mix, and we just did it with buckshot. So right now it's 3.2 inches, and it'll get down to 2 inches wide. And the durometer will lower. So
is the diameter?
That's cool.
I think I don't want to. I think one of the was there any negatives about your bumpers? Your 45s were just a C hair to not as tall as some of the other ones. Is that something I remember?
They're not as tall. They're actually, if you were gonna, and I'll just be 100% honest, if you were going to critique it, our iron plates are just a little bit bigger than 450.
Okay.
Right? They're 450 like 0.4, right? And that's how we got them to get to the weight and all that stuff. So the bumpers are actually the standard,
the 17 inches.
But yeah, if you own 17.72 or whatever it is, but if you own both, they're a little bit different.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
and that'll be the same on the new the thinner ones too.
Yeah, the new bumpers will be 450 millimeters. Canada, help me out.
Yeah, come on, Joey, help him out.
I think it's Celsius.
Yeah,
it's Celsius.
Yeah, it's 25 degrees outside. But yeah. No, the 45s, but they'll be thinner, and they'll be. It's interesting because bumpers are, and not to go down a segue, but bumpers are a really interesting topic because a lot of people that want bumpers don't care about sleeve space. Like they're just like, hey, I work out in my gym. Yeah, 4 or 5 or below, right? And so, but I am like, I've always said I do the products how I feel as a lifter. And I think, having a thinner 45 that's a bumper is better. That's what I would want. I mean, when I looked at my rock climbing gym, it's like some days there's a bunch of people in there. And when I'm banging 500 pounds on the deck, like it's loud. And I never have realized it's loud until there's like people doing a technical wall. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I'll just use the bumpers. But then I'm like, I can't. There's literally not enough room. So it'll go from 3.2 inches to 2 inches. Will be the
and that'll be will that be the standard new 45, or you can offer both?
Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of the other one. I'm just gonna go with what I think works.
That's awesome.
Just
that'll be a hit.
Personal endorsement here. Shout out to the other woman in my life, my wife.
Yeah. My wife.
She just after years of working out.
Laundry again.
Yeah, no, she has not come to do laundry again. I think she went to bed this time. No, she she was in the home workout. We have a home gym, a detached garage behind our house.
Garage guy.
I've been lifting in this thing since we bought this house. Started
drinking too.
No drinking. Just lifting. We're 5:30 in the morning. Ain't no time for that.
Yeah, no time.
But she was an indoor. She was working out on the TV, and I finally convinced her. You know what? Hey, you come out to the garage. We'll get you strong. I'll channel my inner Grant. We'll get you doing some 5x5s. We'll get you doing all the things. And you know what? I said, hey, we need to load a little bit less than a 45-pound plate on for these deadlifts. We need to micro load some of these movements so we can make progress like Keith does. And you know where I went? I went to the strength.co and I bought some bumpers. I bought some micro loading plates, and let me tell you, excellent. They're excellent. They do exactly what I need, and they're perfect. I love them.
Your wife had a great photo with them. It was great.
Yes, she
like,
did.
It was like, yeah, like women holding weights. No, but seriously,
trust me. Yeah,
it's like it makes everything look so approachable.
Yes.
And like your wife's photo, like holding a 25 or whatever it was, I like screenshotted it, cropped it, posted it on X. People loved it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no, it's great. Thanks for the support.
Hey,
appreciate
no
your order. Every order counts.
Every order counts. That's what they've been saying for years.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Massonomics invented that saying. So,
yep.
I mean, the biggest thing about Massonomics is they invented paywalls.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Before Massonomics,
you might not know that. You might have never heard that.
Yeah.
No, you heard it here first. All right. Geez.
Can I do a quick pause, Nate? Is your house ever going to stop burning?
No, it's not.
Oh, the whole time it's going to burn.
I
mean,
yeah, that's there to make fun of me, I think, a little bit. Because
there's so many other things you could do.
Yeah, do you know the does Grant understand the reference? I mean, for the audio listeners at home, so the everything is fine dog. There's like that dog that's sitting in the fire sipping a coffee, and he's just like the picture is like everything's fine.
This is fine. Everything is fine.
So this is just
that's my phrase. Just everything is fine because eventually everything has to be fine because the alternative is utter failure. So everything is fine. Everything has to be fine.
And the real story is I put this as my background like episodes and episodes ago, and I was just never on this computer early enough to find a different background that I want to use. So it's just been this for every episode for a while. But yeah, it won't stop burning. Yeah, it's just
okay.
If somebody could call the fire department, that'd be great.
Everything's fine.
Okay, yeah, everything's fine. Exactly.
Because everything has to be fine.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do? Freak out every time something small inconveniences you? That'd be
I think Grant might freak out on me here in a second. Why don't I know? Why don't I know who Jack White is other than an artist that you really like? I probably have to Spotify him because I don't.
Yeah.
You don't? Is this?
I really don't know who Jack White is.
We spoke about them like last week or the week before.
Yeah, and I ignore. I half the shit you say about music. I don't know what you're saying.
I think I actually, as a big Jack White fan, I think Keith is in a fair position here. I didn't know who Jack White was. I mean, I've known about him for 13 years now, but like I think it was 2011 when I moved in with Jeff, and he was like huge Jack White, Rock on Tours, Dead Weathers, the whole deal. And like what I liked was there was a story, right? It wasn't just like a band. There was like all this background information. And so I became hugely in it. But at the same time, Keith, I think you're in a fair position to like not actually know who he is. But yeah, no, Michigan, Dead Weathers was first, right, Nathan?
No. The White Stripes.
No, Dead Weathers was before the White Stripes.
No.
I know
100%.
No.
100%. Fact check me.
I'm going to Wikipedia right now.
Fact check me. Dead Weathers was first.
I would say the White Stripes had to have been first. Him and Meg were definitely had to have been first. You might be right, but I mean, I wouldn't have known about them till way after. And it is
fair, Joey. But
so he's the lead singer of the White Stripes. Is that what I'm getting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know what the
Dead Weather
are vaguely.
Dead Weather formed in 2009. The White Stripes.
I'm wrong then.
Wait. Okay. Where does it start? I mean, here's the White Stripes performing in 2007, so they were together before 2009.
Okay, yeah, no, White Stripes, Jack White. He's just I don't know, like I always tell people like I don't really like rock. I've always liked country, Leonard Skinner. Like if you ask me like what's your type of music, I would tell you Leonard Skinner.
Same.
And I would say that Jack White's he's not Leonard Skinner, right? Like it's actually completely different. But in terms of like rock, electric guitar, but like telling a story, he's in that vein. And I'm a huge fan. His new album is good.
Keith, there's no way you don't know like
I'm looking at all the songs and none of them.
There's no way you don't know that song.
Seven Nations Army.
Yeah,
but
there's no way
Stripes.
you don't know
that's
Seven
White
Nations
Stripes though. I'm talking about
Jack White. I feel like
Stripes. No. That's a deep cut, Keith. I like it. Like, yeah, no, like people that like Jack White. Like I would say, what's the song, Nathan, about all the different women's hair colors? he talks about, man, no, I
don't think I know that one.
Yeah, you do.
I'm also, I think it's people blame ADD, but I'm not a lyrics guy. I'll be honest.
Lazzarato.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He has a girl that's brunette, a girl that's blonde, a girl that's
that's Mambo number 5.
A little bit of Erica in my
You can't fuck with me.
Same. Yeah, nice.
That was an old song.
But yeah, I feel like all this the solo Jack White stuff is probably a lot lesser known unless you're like a big Jack White guy. I mean, even Raconteur's Dead Weather stuff, like unless you're like a Jack White guy. But to say you don't know Jack White, the shock is like, but the White Stripes, and it's like, oh well, yeah, I know that guy. Why didn't you just say the White Stripes?
Yeah,
I feel like it's the typical response I get.
I can't say this, but like, man, I feel like Raconteurs, like, I actually
high energy, high energy.
Yeah, like I really like, and I like the White Stripe stuff, but Raconteurs is good. But anyway, I digress.
They had that one song. It was in my lifting playlist for a long time with the video of them doing, I think, like wagons or something.
Yeah,
I can't name it. What you're talking about. I can't name the song off the top of my head. It was in my playlist forever, but that's like such a high energy rock song. My one buddy was a huge fan, but I'm not going to label myself a fan, but I know of it. I'm adjacent. I'm a fan adjacent. All right. We are approaching an hour and a half, and I don't think we've talked about anything, which would be on par with this podcast.
I'm ready to go. I mean, I'm here.
Yeah.
If they want to get to the section where we actually talk about stuff, they have to, get behind our paywall.
Yeah. The join unpaid and underrated /join. I'm going to do an FMK.
Do it.
And I want to go. No, actually, I'm going to do Mount Rushmore. You do FMK because you're better at those than I am. So Mount Rushmore country singers.
Keith's pissed now.
No, we're good. I
don't give a fuck. Sorry, I don't give an F. I don't give a swear.
Man, this is tough. You're Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, Merle Haggard, Johnny Cash.
Ooh, those are good ones. Did you know? Did you know Willie Nelson's daughter is in a band?
Yeah,
it's Folk Yuki.
I did.
She's amazing.
Yeah, I've seen Willie 3 times,
and
each time I saw him, I thought,
phrasing,
he's gonna die. He's gonna die, but he's still alive.
He's so old. He's so old.
I saw Merle Haggard, who's not dead.
He's not dead yet?
No, Merle's dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Merle's dead. Yeah, Merle's dead. Johnny's dead. I remember when he died. And I went to Baptist Sunday school. And the first 15 minutes of Sunday school was talking about how Johnny Cash died. And I remember thinking, my kids have to be Baptist. Like, this is the way life should work.
Yep. The first article I ever had published was a eulogy to Johnny Cash. And it was published in my college newspaper. That was the first thing I ever had officially published.
Nice. Waylon's probably my favorite. I love the songs. I love that he stole a military helicopter and landed it in Johnny Cash's backyard to get his attention. But I don't know. Runners up, if that's the thing.
Sure.
Dwight Yoakam, Hank Williams Jr. They're definitely. Oh, I can have my druthers?
Of course you can.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. No, Dwight Yoakam's close.
I would put Dwight Yoakam up there.
And Dwight Yoakam he's got so much Californian in him, which I will always say this. California gets the worst rap. And I don't mean R.A.P. Biggie going the music, up there. Yeah. I mean they just get the worst. Like, the people that hate California are the people from the East Coast that watch Fox News all day. And I'm like, 90% of the things that you enjoy in life, you can enjoy in 90% of the state of California. Mm-hmm. Like, you have no idea how great California is. But yeah, they're runners up. If I was going to do a Mexican one, Vicente Fernandez and Ramon Ayala are the same thing as the 4 guys I said, except in Spanish. But the same. And they're close. But anyway, thanks for let me have my druthers.
We have a running joke in my household ever since my wife and I got together is, I think I've talked about it here before, is the, hey honey, it's Dwight Yoakam. Or hey Morgan, it's Dwight Yoakam, because he's in a lot of movies. He'll just randomly appear on all my playlists. He'll randomly appear on the radio because that's an outlaw country on Sirius. And she'll just turn to me and go, I don't care. But it happens like twice a week.
Yeah.
It's just so
Purple
funny.
Rain, man. Purple Rain. Great tune.
He did do a cover.
Yeah. He was a cover, but like it was the best.
He has a couple of great covers. And again, he was in Crank, which is one of my favorite movies. And yeah, it's just always funny because like I'll just be driving and I'll go, hey honey, it's Dwight Yoakam. And she's like, oh, I don't care. Like, I don't care, dude. And I'm like, no.
Have you ever seen him?
No, like not live. No,
you should.
I should. Yeah, I love Dwight Yoakam.
I've seen him 2 or 3 times, but like, yeah, he's good.
He's still
good.
playing.
Yeah,
is he still playing?
Still playing. I actually saw him.
Is he wearing jeans that fit now, or is he still wearing those tight jeans?
No, they're still really tight. The last time I saw him, it might have been 21. I think he had a baby in COVID. But I remember he brought his baby on this stage, and so I name all those other 4, but like Dwight Yoakam for me and my wife, like when we started dating, we always listen to that, and so like Dwight Yoakam's definitely special.
It'll be one of those things if I ever was to, and she heard Dwight Yoakam, she would have to hear my voice in her head going, "Hey, honey, it's Dwight Yoakam."
Yeah, there you go.
She'd be like, "Damn it, damn it, guitars, Cadillacs, and country music."
Hillbilly music.
Yep.
Yeah, same.
No, but my mistake.
All right, Keith, go ahead.
Keith, hit it with FMK.
Switching it up with FMK. So I got a couple I might ask, but I'll go with the first one in case it, if it.
Grant, do you know what that means? You Southern Baptist boy?
Is it free my kid?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Yeah.
What was it? It was slap, tickle, pickle or something? The one person
something.
Okay.
So
I think I know what it is.
So F, Marry, Kill, we've got let's go. I'm gonna keep this podcast specific. So hosting a podcast, being a guest on a podcast, listening to a podcast.
And not being a guest on this podcast. You don't get to weight this against all the others.
Sweet.
Okay, let me think about what these words mean for a second.
So,
there's a big word guy over here.
So hosting, being on,
and then just consuming. So, yeah, I guess you could say, however you want to take it.
Yeah.
F is a one shot. Marry is a forever. Kill is a never do it again.
Yeah, I think I'm effing being a guest. And not because I don't like being a guest. I'm very glad to be here tonight. I'm glad to be everything I'm on. But I think in terms of like my development, I probably need to do that the least. I think
would you kill that though then instead of F it?
No, I'd F it.
Okay.
Yeah. I would marry consumption.
Okay.
And I would kill hosting.
Oh wow. You guys are on like episode like 30 though, aren't you? That's
50.
Yeah, no, and I love it. And hopefully they listen to this and hopefully they make it 2 hours in like Big Carp did. But I'm just thinking of like Grant.
Oh yeah, it destroys your personal. Like it is all consuming.
Oh, it is like a thing that like is, as you guys know. And actually I've been very impressed with like the amount of contact, how far you scheduled me out, like everything. And I also
appreciate it.
Like we're only we are 35 episodes in, but it's like, man, people suck. They say they're going to come on, they don't come on. Like they have no idea like what it takes, and then like other people that consume, they're just like, "Oh, the podcast is great, keep doing it." And you're like, "You don't understand. Everyone sucks."
Yeah. we're
yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're at what, 70?
This is 68. Technically,
so you're over.
Yeah,
you're over a year.
Yeah. We had a year a few months ago.
Understand.
Just turned on Siri somehow.
I love it. I love it.
Shouldn't understand.
Yeah. 68. She just doesn't get that number.
Yeah, she's like, "What's the next one? Tell me."
I would say we're lucky.
Former guest Siri.
Yeah.
We've basically never had anyone cancel. I had like one guy, like 2 days, like he gave me like 24-hour notice that he had a death in the family.
Yeah,
basically.
Connor. His name was Connor King.
Well, yeah, I don't count. I don't count someone like that was scheduled like 9 weeks in advance to telling me he couldn't make it. Like, I mean, like within like a 3-day notice, I've only had like one time, and he would only go the following week. So we've been really lucky that like everyone that's on the podcast listens to, knows of they're our friends basically. Whereas, yeah, if I had a podcast like yours where you actually try to interview more just everyday lifters and shit, that's just hard. Like especially being so new too. It's like, hey, you're basically standing on the fact that you're granting the strength code to get people on until you can.
That's
it
it,
kind of takes
right?
off.
And they're like, well, what is this? Yeah, no, it's tough. I think the toughest part for me, so you're all in the same time zone?
Yeah.
Yes, thankfully. That makes it a lot easier.
So that's not like, so we're, Jeff, Trey, and I are 7, 8, 9, and we go off what we call grant time. So I'm always like, what is that grant time? And so I start at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday nights. And it's just like, oh man. And like, I've talked to Tanner about this, and you guys understand. I mean, you understand right now, regardless if you're on East Coast time or not, it's like, you don't get up, like, you can't like wind down on a podcast and then like finish and go to bed, right? Like you finish the podcast and then you're like, okay, now I need to wind down.
Yep.
It's a solid hour after the episode before I actually
my eyes go to
sure. Think.
Yeah, I go and watch YouTube videos or play video games or something. Like I there's no going right to bed.
No, Keith is easy. He goes back to his basement. He like touches the back of the York mills. He's like, I'm so glad the back of these are milled. I wish I had strength plates. I get it, Keith. No, I got you, brother.
Yeah.
You guys have one pair,
but But we all do love pie. I mean, I love being on this podcast. Not to shit on. I mean, it's a lot of work, but god dang it, I love it. It
is fun, and like I'll be the first to tell you, out of 68 episodes, I've probably started half of what you guys have done. I've probably finished 5, but that's like, as someone producing a podcast, that's what I try to keep in mind. Is like, that's actually part of the game. Is like, and it's not a game, but it's like, hey, I can't make it 2 hours. I always wish I could. But like, just the fact that like I open it and I'm like, oh, that crew member's on, like I'm gonna listen. It's fun, and like it's a big part of, I don't know, I think we're all millennials here, but it's a big part of like our lives, right? It's like, hey, you wake up, like every day I walk down to my office, it's like a 12-minute walk. I'm always wearing headphones, listening to a podcast. And sometimes I make it 12 minutes into Rogan, right? Which like, you might as well listen to none of it because it's like, that's so long. Yeah, but it's definitely a part of our lives. But it's fun to create, and it's interesting. It's interesting looking at the numbers, and like, man, like people like, as Jeff, Trey, and I have always said, is like, we're just doing this because we talked once a week anyway. It's like, let's do it. And then you're like, wow, people listen to this. This is cool. Same thing with you guys anyway, it's just, podcasts they're not going away. That's what people consume.
And you guys pull a ton of like clips and like make your you turn that into a ton of content. Did you actually? So like, we struggle with that. Like we have the video file, but none of us have time to go through it and like clip it and like I used to do it, but it's probably been a couple months since I've gone through and pulled the video file to make anything, because like I do, and then we get like 50 likes, and it's like that was like a 45 minutes of my life to get 50 likes. I'll just post the the thumbnail once a week and then just do stories.
Dude, that's why you got to start posting like jujitsu hot takes, Keith, and then you can get all the views.
Did you see that one, Nathan?
Yeah, I saw.
That one went crazy. So what's funny is I said, we make a lot of content for the Strength Co. Some does well, some does bad. And when I did the OK podcast, I was like, like what I had gotten tired of was turning the camera on, looking at it, and be like, hey guys, here's this coaching take. And I was like, what if we did a podcast, but during it, we talked about lifting, and it took care of like one YouTube video a week. That was actually, I mean, the guys wanted to do it. I wanted to do it. But it was like, it would actually lessen the burden. And it has. And what's funny is, I personally think when you're filming me sitting in the chair talking about lifting, it's boring. But if you're covering a topic that's helpful with the way our channel is, it works. So like, we do that. And then for our clips, I'm like, I'm not spending any money, and I'm not spending any time. I say I'm not spending any money. We pay for software, forget the name. I'll send it to you, Keith. It might be useful for you. It's $25 a month. And you upload your entire podcast, and it just spits you 15 reels.
Ooh.
And most of them suck, but I post them anyway. because I'm like, I don't have time to edit this, like whatever. And so like, the one that Nathan's talking about, Placido's like, yeah, people with a black belt suck, blah, blah. And like the internet loves controversy, but like we spent zero time on that. And that's like the number one reel in the OK podcast ever. It's like 50,000 views, like a bunch of new followers. So yeah, that's because we already did the work, right? Mm-hmm. Like we all decided we were going to come together at night and like do this thing. And it's like, well, I might as well get something out of it. And if it's not great, it's still something. So yeah, that's what we do. We just upload it and it just spits you reels, and it has the words on it, and it picks. Like you don't pick anything, but then you at least have something to post.
It's interesting. So yeah. Grant, what's easier to find clips from, your podcast or your dad's sermons?
What's easier to find?
What's easier to find clips from? What do you? I've just seen like
seen a lot of my dad's stuff.
I've seen. We scrolled the Strength Co page. I'm like, who is this? And I'm like, oh wait, this is Grant's dad.
Yeah. No, my dad. I mean, I got him on that about a year ago. And
is he doing that?
So my dad, he's a Southern Baptist preacher based in South Carolina, has a really big church. And my he's just like a 70s, 80s mindset guy. So he's on the radio, like to this day, 33 states, twice a day, he's on the radio.
That's awesome.
And so that's where his mind is. Yeah, thanks. It's cool, actually. And I actually realized like how much I learned from. But I'm like, Dad, you have all these high-tech cameras, all this like stuff going on. You should also be making short-form content. He's like, I don't know about that. Like, we're on the radio in 33 states, man. Blah, blah, blah.
That's where the people are, the radio.
Yeah.
We's mass communicating, you idiot.
Yeah. My dad's like, you want to call us 1-800 ... I'm like, Dad, no one calls 1-800 numbers anymore. But no, so he started doing the short form, and it was funny. I was talking to him this week, and he's like, I just don't feel like it's taken off. I'm like, Dad, this video about you talking about baptism has 1 million views.
That's crazy.
Really? Yeah. So no, it's funny, but no, he's not working on it, but I've been trying to help him with that because all the infrastructure's there.
Yeah.
Right? It's like it's already being filmed. Someone's already editing it, and I'm just like, give it to the people the way people consume content now.
That's what I'm saying, Keith. Get on it.
Yeah, get on it, Keith. Yeah.
I'm sorry. As soon as Tanner gives us that $25 a month, we can take care of that for you guys.
We're trying to buy a speedboat, man. All right, so ultra serious goose time doesn't have to be serious goose. I warned Keith and Joey I might do this, and I feel like it's sitting right there, and I feel like I got to take it. So I know we don't get political on this podcast, but like least fun, most fun part. To me, this is always a great topic in the world I come from. So least fun, most fun, being a pastor's kid. What is the least fun? What is the most fun?
Is this political?
I don't know. I said the word pastor.
Yeah,
so
we don't normally, the three things you don't talk about, right? Like religion, politics, money. We kind of avoid those. But you are
that diet was one, but Keith brought up his diet. So
yeah, you are the second pastor's kid.
Yeah, last week.
Who was 2 weeks?
Ashley was last week.
Last week.
Literally
there might have that. I'd be surprised if there wasn't another one in
there.
But
people are writing books about being pastors' kids and talking all about it. So I want to hear from the source, Grant Broggi, the expert on all things. What is the least fun? What is the most?
I can make anything. I'm a builder. I could probably put I could probably make Massonomics behind a paywall.
Yeah, you could probably come up with that.
Cutting edge. Yeah.
You can put pastors behind a paywall.
Ooh, there you go. Dad, I got a new one for you, Dad.
Like, you want me to go full honesty?
It's your show. We're not professionals.
Yeah, we're not. Least fun, I would say, is the pressure.
Yeah.
Which takes away from your own faith.
Yeah.
Right? So you have this image you have to uphold. And this, like, we could talk about this in terms of Christianity. We can talk about it in a bunch of stuff. But, like, if you have, like, a standard that you have to keep, you actually don't think of, like, what's happening in your own life. So I would say least fun is, like, you're the pastor's kid. The pastor does all these great things. Like, it's PK works both ways, right? President's kid, pastor's kids. But it's probably similar to like how the Obama kids felt, how the Trump kids felt, right? Like I have like, it doesn't matter what I do on a much smaller scale on a local church, but it's like you have this persona to keep. And I think what it breaks down is the thing that I don't want to call it the service, but that the organization is actually trying to provide faith, right? And you're worried about, well, I got to make sure I do everything right. So I think that's the least fun. Most fun being a pastor's kid. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know how I would. I mean, I like, we joke about it on our podcast, right? Like, I don't know any movies. Like, I don't know anything. I always say, if you grew up for 18 years and didn't watch a movie, you can never catch up. And I tried really hard in college. Like, I watched movies for 6 hours a day. I was like, I will catch up. You can't catch up, right? But I do think what's fun is, like, I can make reform jokes to you about Tulip. We can bring up a John Piper book. Like, the deep takes you have on religion, it's kind of eye-opening when you talk to someone, because a lot of people you talk to will be like, yeah, I go to church. And like you ask like one question, and the way they answer that, like if you have like a church background, you're like, oh, I know what this is.
Yeah.
Right. It's kind of like in lifting, right?
It's like being into Massonomics. Like I'm into lifting and you're like, what would Huck Finn do? And they're like, I don't know what that means.
Right. Exactly. It's the same thing. So like I enjoy that actually as an adult now, because like my faith is important to me, but I enjoy that, like, you can talk to someone and realize right away, like, oh, I actually kind of know what they believe and what they think about. But yeah, I mean, pastors' kids, I don't know. Like it's not a bad thing, but it's not a good thing. Like it's just what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like I always think every time we record a podcast or every time I publish a YouTube video, I'm like, my God, my daughter is going to be able to access this on the internet, like when she's 13. Like, what am I doing? Right. And it's kind of similar in the church. Like, you're up there on display.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, anyway, I don't know if that answered your question, but that's the best hack I have at it.
I was thinking like most fun is like being able to run around a giant building with no supervision because your dad's the pastor, but.
Oh yeah, definitely that. Yeah, definitely.
All the PKs I know are just like, yeah, it's great. Like we get Nerf guns out and we just run around a giant building all the time on the weekdays. Like no one's here.
That's true. Actually, my first job was I was the church janitor.
There you go.
8. I was on the payroll for the church, cleaning the bathrooms.
You can do that in the South. You can do that in the South. Shoot. Well, yeah. Okay. There's Nathan's serious goose questions.
So we have this game we like to play. Yep. It's called Unpaid or Underrated. Okay. It's kind of like overrated, underrated.
Except different.
Yeah, except different. So unpaid is like, obviously that thing is unpaid. So it's the overrated version of ours.
So unpaid equals overrated.
Yes.
I'm homeschooled, so sometimes you have to really break stuff down.
Unpaid bad, underrated good.
And
okay, thank you, Keith.
And then I got like 15 of them. So normally we limit these to like 6. But like I've just been going through this entire. I mean, I've added about like 7 since we started talking. So
how did my people do? I did send your link out.
Yep.
Were we above average? Were we underpaid or were we?
You did good.
What is it? We did good. We had a couple submissions.
Yeah, there was at least 4, I think, maybe 5.
Yeah, we had some good submissions, and then cool. I took some of those, added them to here. But as we're talking, I've been adding more, which is usually how I do this on the podcast. I go through it during, like, before the podcast. I'll go through and say, no, that's a good topic for unpaid and underrated, and I'll move it down instead of like instead of like just bringing it up willy nilly, like, hey, tell me about this thing. Like does anybody here listen to Limp Bizkit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean.
Did you listen to the new Limp Bizkit album?
No.
Grant's according to our notes, Grant's a low-key hipster.
The new one in 1999.
So he doesn't listen to any new Limp Bizkit.
So there's this is what I don't want to be. There's a song called something
Break Stuff. There's only one song.
The new album is called Limp Bizkit Still Sucks.
Yes.
And it's got the dad vibe song, but it's got this song that's just random about snacks. But at the end, it's this really shitty interview with Wes Borland. And it's just a guy going, so I heard you like tacos. And Wes is like, yeah. And the guy goes, oh, yeah. I heard you like this metal band. And Wes goes, yeah. And the guy's like, great talking to you. And I was like, I don't want to fucking do that. Like when we get these lists and it's just lists of topics, it's like, I don't want to do that. So anyway, I move those to unpaid and underrated. So Keith, go ahead with unpaid and underrated.
Right. I'm going to go.
Wait, Keith, yeah, real quick. Underpaid bad, underrated good.
Unpaid bad. So
unpaid,
it's the name of the podcast. So unpaid or underrated. So
we have it on a T-shirt, Grant. We have it. You can buy that massanavis.com/shop.
There's 3 left last I checked. So
only 3 spots left.
You know, get a rush to that. All right. So
3 spots.
Unpaid or underrated. Oh, you might
just
go for it, man. Just go.
The movie A River Runs Through It, but you just said you don't watch movies, but you have to know this. It's literally about a pastor's kid, and it's about fly fishing. So A River Runs Through It. Unpaid or underrated?
Underrated. Good movie. Yeah, great movie. Yeah, love it. Actually,
agreed. Very good movie.
Who's in that? Is that Joaquin Phoenix?
Brad Pitt.
Yeah, Brad Pitt and another guy from the early '90s that probably hasn't done too much since. Let's see. Unpaid or underrated hosting a weekly podcast. We kind of already went over that, but I guess you can say unpaid or underrated.
It's definitely unpaid.
It's fair.
Yeah, I'd probably leave it unpaid. What did you say, Joey? 5 stars?
No, I'm telling Keith, do 5.
What do you want?
Oh, okay.
Don't we want to let Nate? We can let Nate do a couple.
Oh yeah, it's a great idea. Nate's here. So I remember that guy.
I'm gonna do about 3. Unpaid or underrated cats.
Underrated's good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Underrated by a large margin. I'm a big cat guy. I love my cats. Like I got a baby on the way coming in October, deploying January. And I tell my wife all the time, I'm like, look, I'm leaving from maybe it'll be 5 months, probably to a year I'll be gone. And I'm like, it's the worst thing that could happen. But I'm more worried about my cat because like you'll take care of the baby and you'll tell her everything that is going on, and the cat will have no idea. Like, it'll have no idea. So,
but like, will the cat also care? The cat will like,
for sure. Cats.
Yeah, my cat, my older cat, yeah. Go ahead, Keith.
No, I was just saying, like cat. I mean, cats know when you're not there. They might. I don't know.
Yeah, big time. No, big time. Yeah. No, the cat will notice. The cat will 100% notice.
That's when they break stuff. Shout out Limp Bizkit.
I'm a little surprised they're not here yet. Cat, come here, cat.
Is the wife? Are you guys worried about how the cats are gonna assimilate with the baby and like that interaction?
We're not necessarily. We're actually kind of excited about that, but that's probably just because Instagram broke our brains, and it just like looks like every cat gets along with babies on Instagram. But
in reality,
no, we're not necessarily worried about that. No, I think that'll be fine. And the cat will be fine. Like it's a cat. It's a cat. They're resilient.
All right, I'm gonna do one more, and then I think I'll leave 4 for everybody. Unpaid or underrated Rogue plates.
It's not on your It's not on your scale. What's the worst thing you could say? Unpaid's not fair. No, I mean, I would say unpaid. I think that, and fortunate for us, as we say in the Baptist community, you never say you're lucky, you say you're blessed. But like I always say, the internet has said that they like our plates. For talking cast iron, right? Like people like, is Rogue your competitor? I'm like, on a grand scale, 0%. But in terms of cast iron American made plates, yeah. And I think people like ours better. So I would give them unpaid. The only thing I don't like about Rogue, honestly, because I like him. I think Bill's a cool guy. I think it's cool. It's a better owned company. The only thing that I think that guy's a little bit weird is they make everything look like it's made in America.
Yeah,
which it's not.
Absolutely not.
And I've had a lot of opportunities to make other things, and I could totally make it look like it was made in America, but I don't. And so that's where it's like, actually, I kind of don't like you for this. But no, I mean, I think I guess what I would say as a lifter is, why would you buy their cast iron plates over their bumpers? Like, they're so thick. Like, unless you just think it looks cool, right?
They don't. I think they missed the mark with the deep dish. I think they look. I think they're
they're Olympic plates, and their other stuff is great, right? Like, I mean, my gym, all Rogue R3 racks. Like Rogue makes great stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I think their plates are. I think their 45s look cool, but like the line doesn't match down the line. You know, yeah, I'd go unpaid.
Sure.
Did they make the ones for the Arnold? With Arnold?
Did
the feature of Arnold? That was them?
Yeah, for the strongman show.
Yeah.
We're doing a one next year that has Nathan's. It's kind of like Nathan's face around the hole, but it's on fire. Like the house is on fire. And it just says it's fine.
Sponsored by Home Depot.
Yeah.
So that's right. Home Depot.
But those will be behind a paywall. You've got to access that monthly subscription to get a hold of those. Yeah.
Brother, there's a lot of stuff to get. You got to get from me behind a paywall, but
we need $25 a month, crew.
Nate, do you want me to go next? And
go for it.
All right. So unpaid or underrated, Canada.
You know, I can't answer this honestly because I've always really wanted to go. I've been, if I was in Detroit and I walked across, where did I go?
Windsor.
Okay, I went to Windsor. Right?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Like,
There's better parts of Canada.
I was like 15. I was with the PO of Home Depot, and like he was working for GM at the time. But no, I'm actually going to go underrated in terms of Montreal looks really cool to me. The Niagara Falls side looks cool. I will say that their customers are unpaid. They act like I am the person charging the duties.
Like you're the one that charged the duties and taxes?
Fucking brother, this is your country, not mine. Like this direct pass through. But yeah, no, I'm pro Canada. I love every Canadian customer. I like your chips that taste like ketchup.
Damn it, that was one of my things. Don't give anything away.
Sorry. Yeah, no, but I think underrated. But I would love to do a real Canada trip. Like, and I haven't, but I would. Yeah, I'm going to say underrated just out of lack of experience.
Do your plates get stuck in Carol's stream like all Joey's shirts do?
No, because he's shipping from the other side. Yeah, he's from the.
Well, he's got warehouses in a couple spots.
I do. The weird thing, Nathan, about that, and maybe Joey can speak to this, but it's like if you ship from Wisconsin, which to me should be the cheapest, right? Like it's literally right by the border. Or you ship from California, you ship from South Carolina. Duties and freight costs is the same. It's like a flat rate. And I would love to bring our shipping costs down to Canada. I think it's an unserved market. I'd love someone to open a warehouse there, and we pay for a truckload of 44,000 pounds to cross the border. But no, it is tough to ship over there. And the hard part is that the consumer never thinks about all the layers, right? And so, like, if FedEx is charging something or UPS holds a shipment, it's Strenko's fault. And I get it, right? Like, it's like kind of what you signed up for. But yeah, I wish we served Canada better. Like, I really wish we do. We do now on apparel, like small stuff, our pricing's way better. But I wish for heavy stuff we were better at that.
I can give some insight.
Sure.
So if you remember, I messaged you about the puffy coat shirt.
Yeah.
And I was like, when you release it, I fucking want it. After shipping, it was a $90 Canadian t-shirt.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
It was
That's something you buy off Kanye's website. Jeez.
Yeah. And I was like, I love that shirt. I want that shirt. I'll see if I can get them to bring it to the Arnold, but I can't justify a $90 t-shirt. Like, that's out of pocket.
I mean, you can. Like, once you put pencil to paper, you can.
Yes, I did not put pencil to paper that day, but
yeah, that happens sometimes.
But that customs thing, and you're right, because I'll ship something from, let's say, Ghost Energy. Okay, because they're coming from Nevada. And they're $15 flat shipping, and I don't pay anything. And it just shows up in a couple days. Massonomics will ship from South Dakota, Barefoot from North Dakota.
What's a t-shirt from South Dakota, like from Massonomics? What's the shipping
if
rate?
they're 35 plus 15, so they'll charge me $15 in shipping. So like I'll pay $60 to $70, which is why again I don't order that often unless it's something that really speaks.
Really gets you. Yeah.
But I don't pay duties and customs because they ship slow shipping, which is USPS.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I got a package from, I want to say somewhere in the Northeast, DHL, free shipping, no customs. But if anything is being shipped express, you will pay out your ass.
Yeah, for sure.
You will pay duties, customs. I don't ship a lot of express from the States, so I'll actually use Grimfrost as an example because Grimfrost comes from the Netherlands. It's a $50 order. It's $10 for shipping, and I'll pay $100 in duties.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
But it'll be there in 2 days because I'm paying for somebody to open it, inspect it, and go, this is fine.
No, it all makes sense. It all makes sense when you think about the logistics of it.
But
right?
I think of things. I used to work in shipping and logistics, so I completely understand that. But I can see how a consumer that is like, I ordered $200 in strength go plates, paid shipping, and now I owe another $150 in or whatever it is. I can see why they'd be blaming you, but in reality, they're actually it's DHL or UPS or whoever is. That's who is taking all of that money because the government's taking like a few dollars because like why aren't you buying plates in Canada? Well, because you don't make plates, you weirdos. But the alternative is like you're paying the shipping company to get it across the border with nobody interrupting.
The brokerage fees.
Brokerage fees, yeah, they're the worst. And yeah, if we could somehow do LTL shipments that are just like, I actually have a friend in freight, and maybe I'll actually bother him. So he works in LTL and full truckload shipping, and I'll talk to him and be like, what do we do to avoid that? Because he does that. He's the broker that like books a truck to go and pick it up and ship it and all that kind of stuff. Because it is a nightmare. It is a damn nightmare. And it's funny how, like I said, 2 days shipping from Ghost, $15. Doesn't matter what's in it. I don't pay anything. 10-day shipping.
Nathan has something interesting to say.
Yeah, Joey said all this, but Grant, why are you charging the Canadians so much money?
Because I don't like Canadians.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. This is the rumor.
I don't understand why the Strength Co charges people so much to get it across the border.
I'm charging them. It's me.
Yeah, it's him.
It's me.
He is the broker.
I always look at things and I say, you know what I want to do? I want to sell less plates.
Yeah.
I want my plates to have less reach.
Yes.
No, but it is. And like, I would put, and this is an insult, it's a compliment, Keith, but I'd put Keith out of the three of you guys as the home gym nerd. Like, dude, I want to solve the Canada thing. Like, I really want to, because a lot of people want our stuff over there. It's just tough, right? And it's, it's lift gates, it's, LTLs. It's, I think the only way we really solve this is open a warehouse there, which I'm looking into actually recently. But I think that's the only way that it gets answered, because if someone orders plates to Canada, they got to get to the border. They have to go through this government process. And it makes sense, right? Like, someone has to open it, look at it, pull out a piece of paper, make sure the harmonization code is correct. Like, it's a real thing.
Kitty. I see a kitty.
Yeah, kitty. Yeah, back there.
Joey, how big is your backyard? Can we put a warehouse in it?
Big enough to get married in.
Yeah, actually, probably, but
it's big enough.
I don't know if it's that big.
I mean,
all right.
The plates can pack in pretty tight, so I think we'll be fine.
They can, yeah. They're small.
And
they're smooth yet easy to grip.
I was about to say that same thing.
Yeah.
So all right. I think I have two more. Unpaid or underrated. Of course, now I want to hear it. Ketchup chips.
Underrated. Love them. And like, the best thing that I love them is they speak to the Mexicans. So like, my wife was like that was the first thing she said when she saw you, was like, do you think you brought the chips and you didn't this year to lift our live easy? I was like, I flew. Man, I should have. Yeah, no, it's fine. But no, I think they're not my thing, but I think they're a unique. Yeah, I think they're underrated.
Yeah, I think you and D and Connor. Connor really liked, I think, all dress chips.
Connor really liked him too. Yeah. And Californians, man, they like weird stuff.
All right. Unpaid or underrated. I think this is my last one. And what do I do here? The Aberdeen Mall.
I love it. How do I answer that question? Just the Aberdeen Mall is like, it's definitely unpaid, but it's so underrated. Like it's like Connor, D, and I talk about this all the time. Like we're there, we stayed an extra day, which was weird because this year on Lift Hard, Live Easy 2, a lot of people stayed an extra day.
Mm-hmm.
But last year, everyone bolted. And we were like, what do we do? And went to the mall and like it's definitely a sad mall. Like it's the end of Aberdeen's mall, but at the same time, it kind of makes it great. You know, it's like walking into an old church, Nathan. You're like, well, there's only 3 people here, but dang, these 3 souls, they matter. No, I had a great time. I watched Barbie. I never thought I'd ever see Barbie. I would never watch Barbie in any other time in my life, but like that Sunday afternoon, that day at the Aberdeen Mall, it made perfect sense, and I loved it. Yeah, no, I underrated. Yeah, not unpaid. I'm a big fan, but also unpaid in every other aspect. But from my experience, underrated.
Nate, what do you got for us? You added some.
Yeah. So, longtime listeners, deep cut callbacks.
First time caller.
Yeah. Well, no, sure. But longtime listeners, I don't know if it's a deep cut, if it's a callback. There was a discussion about that on the Discord. Grant barely knows how to use it. But Roll Tide is a very, close to home term here on the Unpaid and Underrated podcast. Not for the fact that we like SEC football, but for the fact
roll Tide.
Yes. Yeah. But because Joey thought Roll Tide was a term used during a NASCAR race in which the Tide car rolled over.
It's a big dig.
Yeah. But for the more familiar with the true Roll Tide, unpaid or underrated, Alabama Crimson Tide, Grant.
Man, I think I gotta go underrated, right? And I'm a Patriots fan, and I always hated when people hated the Patriots because I got it. I was a fan, but I'm like, how do you hate greatness? Right? Like, how do you like? It's how I feel about the company that should not be named, right? Like they're kicking our ass. Like they're so good. Like, how do you hate a team that does this over and over and over again? Do I think that the traditions, like the stuff they do in the fields, is that cool? Not really. The sororities on TikTok are currently making like kind of a splash, but like I think, yeah, underrated. Like I like, even if I don't like the company, I respect like greatness, and I think that's what Alabama is. This year will be interesting though. No more Nick Saban. We'll see what happens. But no, I'd say underrated.
There you go, Joey. Some insider information on the Roll Tide while you were away. We got all a look behind the SEC curtain.
Yeah, the NASCAR car is doing well then.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it flipped over. Yeah,
it flipped over. Keeps on flipping. It keeps on flipping. All right, this one's close to home in many ways. The Home Depot 5-gallon bucket, unpaid or underrated.
You want to answer that one for me, Nathan?
No, I want you to answer. This is
underrated. Underrated. I mean, the Home Depot 5, like it has Homer on it. It's like, you can do it. We can help. That beat is so good. You can make a squat rack with that and a bag of ready mixed concrete and some 2x4s. The Home Depot decided to post a picture during COVID of someone with a squat rack, but yet, even though my brother was POO, they didn't use the one that we made. They made a random, like that bucket. I love our brothers in Western Northeast South Dakota, but like Menards will never shake a stick at Home Depot. Like that bucket is as good as it gets. Hate anyone that goes to Lowe's. I love it.
I never heard of Menards until Massonomics podcast.
Because you're not
Me
Midwest.
neither.
You're not Midwest.
Me neither. Man,
apparently Midwest is the entire country.
Huh? What?
Yeah, wait, sorry.
Yeah, he's in Ohio, and they hate hearing that.
My sister-in-law works at a Menards in Ohio, so relax.
I live in upstate Midwest.
Yeah. Okay.
Shout out to Sydney. Shout out to Tim Eckberg.
You are not Midwest.
It was a joke. I said upstate Midwest. It was
upstate.
It was funny because the Davids will figure it out themselves.
Statler and Waldorf over there. These fucking dummies. Sorry, pardon my language.
Yeah. I'm running out of. I've got notes everywhere. I've got 2 monitors.
Is this where I flip the script?
I've got a 36-inch screen, but
let him do one more, and then we'll
So I had a bunch of coffee questions because coffee always gets brought up on the Unpaid and Underrated podcast, and I got a lot of coffee thoughts, and Joey always talks about coffee. The problem is I don't have any good unpaid or underrated coffee topics, so I guess we'll just save that for the next time Grant's on. We can go down a coffee nerdery
next time.
I guess the question we'll pose to you, coffee related. I think it's important we touch on this. 6 bars of pressure to brew coffee, unpaid or underrated.
Are we calling it coffee or are we calling it espresso?
Ooh, well, I wouldn't call anything espresso because there's no X in espresso, Grant. So just shut up. I'm about to kick him. He said
how many bars do you need for espresso?
You can ask the SCCAA if you want to know that question.
9. You need 9 bars. So I sell a Brica pod on our site, made in Italy. Actually made my hometown. When I say my hometown, I mean where my grandfather was from. He came off the boat. It's made in Milan. You can go there and see Palazzo dei Broggi. It's right downtown in Milan, and the Bialetti shop's right there. 9 bars of pressure. I didn't know this. I started selling Bialetti Brica pots, and I was like, I'm an espresso guy. I love espresso. I love coffee. I'm the guy. And I posted on Reddit. I was like, great espresso. And I got roasted by an Italian. Like, oh, you're going to come to me with a stovetop espresso maker? Like, espresso is not about the roast. It's about the pressures. So your question was 6 bars.
Or 9.
Underpaid or underrated?
Unpaid or underrated,
yeah. Yeah. Unpaid. Yeah, you gotta have 9 bars. Yeah.
Trying to find the official the official definition of espresso by the SCCAA, just so we're all on the same.
Wait, is that like an SSC, a starting strength coach? Same
no,
thing?
It's the SCCAA, which is the Specialty Coffee Association of America.
Okay.
And it would define espresso as this: 1, it's spelled with an S. 2, espresso is a 25 to 37 milliliter, sorry, Grant, beverage prepared from 7 to 9 grams, or 14 to 18 grams for a double shot of coffee through which clean water of 195 to 205 degrees Fahrenheit, 90 to 96.1 Celsius for Joey, has been forced at a 10 to 9 atmospheres of pressure, and where the grind of the coffee is such that the brew time is 20 to 30 seconds while brewing. The flow of espresso will appear to have the viscosity of warm honey, and the resulting beverage will exhibit a thick,
warm honey,
dark golden crema. Espresso should be prepared specifically for and immediately served to its intended consumer. Listen, you take that back to Reddit and you say, I don't see a problem with what I'm doing here.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree. So can I flip the script a little bit?
You do whatever you want. It's your show. We're not professionals.
All right. Let's do a little FMK back at you guys. And I'm going to start with Joey. Keanu Reeves, Jim Carrey, or Justin Trudeau?
The last one.
Justin Trudeau's our Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Who are you, Joey?
Prime Minister of Canada.
Oh, yeah.
So you knew the first 2.
Yep.
So
got the first 2.
FMK. Good.
Well, I mean, he's a politician, and my patience for them is slim. So we're gonna K.
Okay.
We're gonna K that guy, but also he doesn't matter. He won't be around in a couple of years.
Jim Carrey, Keanu Reeves. Ooh,
that is hard because both of them are in my favorite movies of all time.
Dude, Jim Carrey would be wild.
Yes.
They're not Canadian, are they?
Yes, they are.
They're
really?
Canadian.
Okay.
Yeah, they're Canadian. Yeah.
Dang.
I did my research. I had a lot of form
Maybe
fields
Point Break's
going
not my favorite
out.
movie.
Yeah.
I would say we're gonna F Jim Carrey because I actually just watched Ace Ventura on Saturday. I just sat with my wife. I got home from work and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch something stupid. And stone sober sat and watched Ace Ventura: Pet Detective and still laughed my ass off as hard as I ever
have.
Okay. However, a lot of his more recent stuff is kind of weird. Not sure I love all of his movies. So that's gonna marry Keanu Reeves because Keanu Reeves, and this isn't very argumentative fact, is one of the greatest action movie stars of our time.
Hot take. I like hot takes. Nate's in a burning building. I like hot takes.
Every movie he's been that has been an action movie has been a groundbreaking and trend-setting action movie. Speed, The Matrix, John Wick has set the precedent for action movies every time they come out. And he was in all of them. Then he does some weird stuff where he's like an animated dude with like drawing over his face and like because he's also just a decent actor. But I mean, he's also Bill and Ted. So he is almost as iconic as Jim Carrey.
So you're gonna marry him?
Yeah, we're gonna marry Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, Americans are here to get you to the point. Good. We're the same thing. I don't want to hijack your show for too long.
Now do it.
All right. So
it's your show. It's your show.
You're the garage gym nerd. Nathan's screwed because I'm going to ask him with the deepest takes. But you're the garage gym nerd. Which I appreciate. Like I love garage gym nerds. Like they make my business work. Like I don't mean that as negative at all.
No, I take it.
But FMK, garage gym reviews, garage gym experiment based on Brandon.
Experiment.
Can't read the line.
Brandon. Okay, so Kill Coop.
That was easy.
FGGE and marry Brandon, I guess. Like only because I love Jake and Garage Gym Experiment, and like with the Garage Gym Experiment, you get Home Gym Con and all that. But like as far as just content consumption, like Jake doesn't really make much content. He's just more of like he's the mediator almost at this point, and like does his podcast and everything, and I enjoy all that immensely. But Brandon, like I've bought shit solely off watching Brandon's reviews in the past, and so yeah. I think that's fair, and not to say like I gave Coop I gave I was known as like the Coop hater for probably about 2 years there when he was in denial about Pillar 4 and would never address it, but since he actually like came out and actually publicly acknowledged it, which is literally all I think the community really wanted him to do for the past 3 or 4 years. It's like just stop lying to people, just stop literally lying and by omission. Like it is still a lie. Lying by omission is worse than lying almost. So the fact that he doesn't do that anymore and actually came out about it, like I mean, I don't watch half his content because it's all like, watch me rate this imported piece of shit that no one cares about anymore. But I don't know. But yeah.
I think it was really well put. All right, Nathan.
Oh boy.
What do you think? What do you think the topic is?
I don't know. I literally don't know. I'm not a professional. I'm literally never on this podcast. I don't even know how to do this.
Isn't it past your bedtime?
Yeah, it's past mine, that's for sure. But I told my wife, I was like, you know the guy that paints his fingernails from Canada? She was like, yeah. I was like, I'm going to his podcast. It might be a while. John Piper.
Okay.
Mark Driscoll.
Oh, gosh.
Jerry Falwell Jr.
Oh, gosh.
We need some context.
These are all preachers. Okay. John Piper is like reformed, which means like God selects people that are going to be saved. I guess you could say.
Great explanation.
He also has some like hot takes lately that maybe aren't the same as what the Southern Baptists would think on what did it say? Biblical marriage. That's John Piper. Jerry Falwell Jr. went to Florida. He ran Liberty University, Christian pastor. His dad, Jerry Falwell. But then he went down to Florida, bought a condo, and like had a threesome with some pool boy and his wife. Was kind of disgraced. I already forgot my third.
Driscoll.
Driscoll.
The Drisky business.
Wait,
Driscoll was like,
but the pool boy was the third.
I don't know. He ran around and told like young men that they needed to be. I don't even know how to explain Mark Driscoll. Like I can't. But it's all Southern Baptist stuff. It's very in Nathan's wheelhouse. So there you go, Nathan.
Describing John Piper as Southern Baptist stuff is very funny because he's like the inverse of Southern Baptist.
Yeah, he's not Southern Baptist. No, but I was trying like when you talk broad strokes.
Broad strokes.
Yeah, broad strokes.
Yeah. Shout out to
John Piper before I kill
him. So, shout out to my boy Miles. He shot our unpaid and underrated t-shirt collab video, graduate of the Liberty University.
Go Flames. My brother went there. My oldest brother went there.
Go to Flames, go Home Depot, go lawyer stuff, the whole business. But yeah, Jerry Falwell Jr., I don't need to keep him around. I don't need any pool boys in my life.
I agree.
Pools are expensive. Money pit. I don't need that around. I want to be economical with my money. John Piper, Desiring God. Hey, what are you going to do with your retirement? Are we collecting seashells? The whole 9 yards. I read some John Piper this morning. Good stuff.
You're marrying him.
Yeah, I definitely marry John Piper. However, shout out to a podcast that doesn't exist anymore.
A lot of those.
What is the name of it? I just forgot the name of it. But his son
Driscoll's?
No, John Piper's son, Barnabas, hosted a podcast for years. And he would tell stories about his dad, and just John seems like a hilarious man.
He's a good guy.
So his hair, his suits that never fit, he'd be great to have around. And if you know anything about Driscoll, he wrote some books about some stuff.
I know about Driscoll.
So if I'm
gonna, as a Christian, you can't say what you're gonna do.
Yeah, it's Driscoll. He seems pretty wild. But the only Driscoll. One of my favorite things I ever heard about Driscoll is after his whole falling out and whatnot. Him, blowing up a bunch of people's lives. That whole situation. His whole problem was he's just mean to people. And I heard somebody say, it's like, well, if you're going to blow up a whole ministry, a whole church and all of this, like at least do something way worse than just be mean to people. Like find a pool boy or something. Like you're just going to waste it on being mean. And I was just like, what a wild take, but okay. Yeah, that's something.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Drisky business. He's always out there. He's always cooking. But who do you think you are?
I didn't mean to turn it back on you guys, but
that's part of the show.
Yeah,
that's literally the last segment.
That was a fun recap of the Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah.
Nathan and I are going to have lots of Driscoll texts after this.
Yeah, Drisky business. Yeah.
All right. What do we do now?
I think we rounded out. It's been 2.5 hours, and
I was trying to go for the record, so we haven't done an incredibly long episode. So I've got 60 more topics.
No,
everyone buckle down.
Everyone log off and let Nate just talk to us.
Yeah, fuck that. Like
So Pandora. What about Pandora? We didn't even get to Pandora music.
I waited until the last 10 minutes to drink a beer. Like, let's go.
Pandora's so good. Pandora's so unpaid. It's so unpaid. Like I am on Spotify because you get married, and if you get, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna have my druthers for a second, and I feel like I'm in a safe space. But like, if you get married in your 30s, you guys already have your lives going. But then you both decide, like, hey, you know what? We don't need 2 Amazon accounts. We can have 1 Amazon account. And you decide, like, hey, we need to do these things. Man, I switched to Spotify, and I hate it. I hate everything about it. Pandora One is the best, like, for playlists for music. I miss it so much. Like, I hate Spotify. I hate it.
Just come over to Apple Music. It's great.
Yeah, I use Apple Music.
Yeah.
It's actually interestingly, not as good as Spotify for suggesting things. So a lot of the bands I listen to now.
Grant's a hipster. You don't need anything.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's on Pandora. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, guys.
Pandora One.
Get it right, Joey. Get it right.
Sorry, not Pandora 2 or 0. It's Pandora 1.
And not the box, okay? Don't let him out of that one.
All right, guys, you know the drill. Go ahead and use our affiliate links. We got Obsidian Ammonia, Barbell Rescue, Plate Snacks, Home Gym Con, Code Unpaid. It'll save you a little bit on all those. And Instagram, Unpaid and Underrated Podcast, website, unpaidinternpodcast.com. We got a YouTube that Nate throws some stuff on every now and then. Big Grant, where are they going to find you at, buddy?
www.strength.co. Wait, should I have a link for you guys?
Sure.
Why wasn't I named? Yeah. Like, can we do like 10% off for ball merch?
Sure. We can do anything you want. It's your show.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
We're not professionals.
Now, can we get that backdated for like any crew that's bought?
No, shut up. Month? Going forward.
No.
I mean,
Screw the crew.
Grant, what if they're a veteran though? Can we give them a discount then?
Veteran owned or veteran?
That was it. Veteran founded.
Is first responders.
Yes,
I really love first responders. Yeah.
Okay.
We got you.
And that's just people on the Instagram comments, right? Those are the first responders.
Yeah, no, it's the Canadian hospital workers.
Okay.
That's what I'm here for.
Me too, actually.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, is that like a code that you want to add?
Yeah, I'll give you a code. I'll just send it. Well, when I talk on Instagram, who am I talking to?
Everyone.
Usually,
we all
Keith.
Three have
Usually, Keith.
Talking to Tanner. Actually,
yeah.
Tanner runs our social.
But I can also send you because you're on iPhone, right?
Yeah, it's 2024.
Of course, be on iPhone. I'll send you my number too, and then you can also just text me that kind of stuff too. But through the Instagram, it's usually Keith. That sounds great. Code on.
I like Keith. Yeah,
yep, that's fair.
Well, I'm gonna.
I suck. That'd be awesome.
John Piper. Buy something.
Now people are going to try to put that in and be like, "Why didn't it work?" And I'm like, "It's code unpaid," but we appreciate it. No, that'd be awesome. We really appreciate that. We try not to fish for those, but anybody that wants to, throw us bucks, it helps out a lot. That's what she said. Big Nate, where are they going to find you at?
You can find me. Huge news. Glaze Search just picked up in notoriety this week. I launched a new web app called bwalkclock.com. It tracks the
price of Bitcoin,
the time Brandon Walker has left on his contract. Big SEC guy for you, Grant. But it has my link tree in it, and the world has found Glaze Search, and they don't know what to do with it. People outside of the crew have stumbled into Glaze Search, and they are confused about everything.
You might have to explain to Grant briefly what.
I feel like I'm pretty deep in all the inside jokes, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
GlazeSearch.com. Check it out. It's the best website that's ever graced the internet.
As a Christian, am I allowed to Google
Absolutely.
Yes,
yeah.
That's the best question ever.
Will Covenant Eyes flag this or not? It shouldn't. I don't know.
It did.
My Covenant Eyes partner.
The longest outro we've ever had. I love it.
Sorry.
No,
this is great. We made our speedboat money back, so we're good.
Yeah. Hey, glazesearch.com if you want to find me. Apparently that's back in full swing again. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe Strongman Scoreboard. You can find me there. We're building stuff for the Strongman community.
I'm actually excited for that. I hope
that's actually dope as shit. I've been telling everybody about that.
Tell them, because in my 30-minute bits of time that I get between wife and kids, hey, we'll build an app and we'll sell it. No discounts. I'm following the grant methodology. Everybody pays full price. Daggone it. You know how much credit card processing fees are? Forget this. No discounts. I got to pay for servers. So yeah, find me on the internet. I don't know what my handles are. bwalkclock.com. Check it out.
Oh, I guess that leaves me. Joey _Malesko, MLECZKO. But more importantly, follow Unpaid and Underrated. Leave me alone. And that brings it out to you, Keith.
Big Keith on Instagram, Keith Honeycutt 73. Go follow my Orange Jam, the No Wine Cellar, and we'll see you next Tuesday.